And very quickly, we also have the presence as part of our panelists as well, the Publicity Secretary of the African Bar Association Nigerian Forum in person of Precious Abi Esquire. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give him a sounding round of applause? Yes. So we have giants, great individuals that are part of this panel session, and we have this wonderful Michael compare this afternoon, who is so embroidered, of course, in an impeccable attire. I would get to acknowledge her presence, and she will be moderating this panel session. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a resounding round of applause to Victoria Udo, who is going to be moderating this panel. Let's give her a resounding round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So a very important message to be passed across. Also, immediately after the first panel session this afternoon, we'll be having the induction proper. So please, we indulge you to just be where you are. Immediately after this panel session, we'll have a couple of goodwill messages and the induction before we go to the second goodwill, the first panel session rather, the goodwill messages before we go to the second panel session. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we're ready for this power-packed panel session, and we're going to begin right now. As Joseph had introduced, my name is Victoria Odo, and once again, I am honored to be here with this high caliber of women and men that are shaping the legal industry. I'm so excited to have you. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Okay, so we're just going to kick it straight into the panel session. So I hope you have your pen and your papers and your books. And please, if you do have any questions for our panel session, our panelists during the course of this session, kindly write them down and pass it to any usher beside you who would then bring it up so we can address those questions. I hope we're together. All right, so for our conversation today on the panel session, we're going to be looking at intergenerational dialogue, lessons and triumph for new wigs. And I'm certain a lot of you have questions. How do I begin? Even I have questions. Where do I start from? Should I do private practice? Should I join a public corporation? Where exactly do I begin from this? And so I'm going to allow our panelists in just 1 minute for each and every one of them, starting from my left, the amazing lady beside me, down to our last panelist to answer these questions. Okay, so we'll begin with the senior advocate then. What are your biggest wins in the legal career that you are proud of? Yes, what are your biggest wins? Mr. Deborah, please. Yes, your wins, like what are you so proud of in the legal profession? What have you done that has been a land-making thing for you that you do not regret being a lawyer? You're excited you're in this path. That's the question. The learner sick, Mr. Kimborough, please.
Which of the learned sets?
The senior learner, yes.
Anybody can start. Anybody can start. You don't have to be.
Okay.
You can start from your. Anybody can start.
Okay, so the learner sick has graciously allowed us to start from here to make things easier. So, ma'am, over to you, please.
Well, I have a few wins, but I would say that one of my biggest wins was, or still is, the opportunity to serve. Thank you. The opportunity to serve in the Nigerian Bar Association, because it actually opened my mind to the possibilities of the things I can achieve in the legal profession. I had and I still have, the opportunity to meet with people that I guess I saw them on TV, I saw them in magazines, but I came into the MBA and then imagine walking into a place like this morning now. I was walking in and there was the DG of law school right in front of me. Ordinarily, it would be from afar, but just right in front of me, I'm like, oh, hello, sir, just because I have the opportunity to be here. So I would say of the many wins, that is one of them. Then the second one is, and I did it with fear, starting my own law practice. And that was on the advice of a senior advocate. One evening, he just picked up the phone and called me and said, so how are you? How is everything? What are you doing? You know, and I said, oh, I'm trying to find another law firm to practice. And he said, why don't you just start on your own? You have the experience, you've been to court, you can do this, I've heard you speak. And I said, oh, no, thank you, sir. I think I still need more time. He said, no, if you keep saying you need more time, the time will never come. So why don't you start? And I started out in fear. And I can say that it's one of the best decisions I made, because with the learning and the falling and the rising, I got better in practice. So that's two.
Well, that's fantastic. Please, a round of applause for our panelists. So over to you, Mar.
Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me? First of all, my apologies for coming in late. It was not intended. It was just one of those things. So no disrespect meant. I think my biggest win was studying law at all in the first place. I didn't study law as a first degree. I wanted to study law. I grew up hearing all the time, you should be a lawyer. You should be a lawyer because you just talk so much and argue so much. I still talk so much. I don't know if I argue so much anymore, except in court. But I didn't get to study law as a first degree because I didn't make the cutoff for law. And my father wanted me to study a first degree anyway, so I went to study English first. And then when I finished that, I could only study evening law. And I started working. And I thank God for my mom, because she insisted that I must study this law. This law, you are going to study this law. By this time, I was working, I was earning money. And for those of you who speak Yoruba, you know that the word for count and read are the same. So I would say jokingly, mi o kawe mo, owo ni mo fe ma ka nsin. Meaning, I don't want to read anymore. I just want to be counting money. But she insisted, and I thank God for that. So my biggest win is studying law in the first place, going back to school, studying law. By the time I was studying law, I was married. By the time I was doing this wonderful exam, to call it something else, that you guys have all just passed and been called to the bar. By the time I was studying for that, I had my child. He was a toddler at the time, so looking after him, going to law school, and reading for exams is another story entirely. I can't tell you the number of times I cried. But here I am, and very, very proud to be part of this profession. It has given me everything. Everything that I've achieved has been because I'm a lawyer. So my biggest win was studying law.
Well, that's very inspiring. Please, a round of applause for her. So over to you, Lenel Sig, please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me very well. First of all, let me thank the leadership of the National YLF for putting this together. I think it's the first of its kind, if my memory serves me right. And second of all is extending the invitation to me to come and do something that I'm extremely passionate about, which is to mentor young lawyers. Now, that said, I know a lot of people that know me and have seen my trajectory in the legal profession would think that the proudest moment was either when I became the chairman of the Lagos branch or when I took Silk. For me, that wasn't even the moment. Let me tell you the moment for me. So I've said this story times and times again. I never wanted to practice as a lawyer. All I wanted to do was go to the academics. So when I finished my undergrad, I did a master's LLM. I wasn't satisfied with that. I did an MBA as well. And because I had a distinction in my master's, I had a scholarship to do a PhD at King's University without paying anything. But my father insisted that I come to the law school, get called, then go back to England, and then you can do whatever you want to do. Now, after being called and doing my NYSC, I decided that I was going to do 1 year practice in the law firm of Shofunde, Osakwe, Ogodekwe, and Belgore. Now, I joined this firm in 2005. Now, as you go along in the profession, you would read up about the legal giants of this profession. And the name will strike you, Chief F.R. Williams. If you haven't heard that before, as you go along and as you read law reports, you see Chief F.R. Williams, SAN, arguably the best lawyer that Africa has ever produced. Africa, not even Nigeria. Now, one of his key people that worked with him was Mr. Ebushofunde, SAN. Ebushofunde, just like it was said about Muyiwa Atoyebi today, was the first ever youngest senior advocate of Nigeria at the time. At the age of 38 in 1988, he took silk. Now, I had the privilege of working with Ebushofunde. I changed my view about going back to the academics. I decided that I was going to be in practice because of Mr. Shofunde, his knowledge of the law and how he practiced law. I fell in love with him and law practice. Now, there's a huge gap between us, the employees, the young lawyers, and Mr. Shofunde. Huge gap. You don't even compare it. But as I went along in the firm, I started working with Shofunde. I started doing a lot of stuff with him. My proudest moment in the profession came 3 times with Mr. Shofunde. One, we had a matter in court against Chief Ajayi, everybody, GOK Ajayi. And after Mr. Shofunde finished his argument, he looked back at me and he said, Yemi, is there more that I need to say? I felt very proud that a man like this could finish his submissions in court and look back at me and say, Yemi, is there more to say? And I said, no, sir, you have covered the field. For me, I felt my growth, how far I have gone from when I started and at that point. Second moment was the day he did a brief of argument and I took him up. I said, sir, these submissions are not correct. And he said, why? And I gave him my side of the submission. And he said, only one lawyer before today had done this to me in the firm that tells me that submissions are not correct and this is the right submission. I felt very proud with myself. And the third proudest moment for me was the day we were coming up in court against Chief GOK Ajayi, SAN. And Mr. Shofunde said, Yemi, you have done everything. You have prepared the brief. I will not take your glory. Stand up and argue this matter. I was in court, he sat down. I felt very proud coming up against GOK Ajayi, SAN. Of course, did I win the case? Of course I did. Those are the proudest moments for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that fantastic one. So the Lenel Sue, please, same question, please.
I want to start by joining the other panelists in congratulating the Young Lawyers Forum for this wonderful induction ceremony, the first of its kind. I please want all of us to give the council a big round of applause. When the question was asked, what's your biggest win? On this panel, I think I spent 34 years at the bar. So I'm the longest serving member of the bar on this panel. And I'm sure, I'm sure. If I want to talk about wins in 34 years, we may not be able to leave this place because what I know will be expected is, okay, the biggest case you've won, the most competitive submissions you've made in court and the rest of it. But for me, I've had time to reflect. What was my biggest win? I have a couple that I want to share with you. The first and the most important to me was a day just like today. The same thing repeated itself today. So, and I will link the two up. We had a matter stated for hearing at the Supreme Court. and I was a little bit under the weather. And the hearing will go on whether I like it or not. So I called one of my juniors and I said, I will not, I will not be able to go to court because of this. And he came to my hospital room and we went through the file together. And they went to the Supreme Court, a young person. At that time, he was barely 2 years old. And he argued the appeal. And we won the case at the Supreme Court. I was excited because it shows the character and the strength of a young person when given the opportunity. And I want to link it with today. Today's program was supposed to start at 9 a.m. from my discussion with the chairman of the Young Lawyers Forum. I had to go to the hospital today, this morning. And I called and I thought, okay, who could represent me? Because I've already promised that I'll be here. I had the option of maybe calling a friend, a senior advocate, or maybe a senior colleague in the office. But I chose to call a young person. She's here, she was looking at me. A member of the Young Lawyers, I said, okay, maybe she should come and represent me. And I spoke with her, and she gallantly took it up. She came here, she sat into, and she was able to represent me. In fact, she sent me a message telling me what she would say. I'm going through it. It was impeccable. Please help me in giving the round of applause to Suliat Oyare, the chairman of Young Lawyers Forum Gariki branch. Boldly, she elected to come and sit on this seat in my stead. And I called her just this morning to tell her that, okay, my wife had kidnapped me and I said, I must go to the hospital this morning. So what do I do? She said, Daddy, she's my daughter. She said, Daddy, I'm up to it and I will do it. Those are my big wins. When I see young people do things that are exceptional and heartwarming. My other one I want to share with you as my biggest win, in fact, the biggest win in my career as a lawyer, was the day 2 of my children were called to the bar the same day. In Yoruba land, they say, Osha, Teban Shete, if you're mokekere, Omakparoni. I will interpret it in English. That when you are serving a deity and you did not induct young people into it, it's going to go into extinction. It made me proud. That was my biggest win because it made me realize that whatever I'm doing right. That my children, out of 3, I scored 2-1. I won the match. 2 of them decided to be lawyers like myself. I must be doing well. And they must see something that they saw in me that they want to take after me. So for me, my biggest win is not the biggest brief I've taken, not the biggest award I've won in arbitration, but the biggest impact I've been able to make in the life of our youngsters. And my children are also a shining example of that. Today, I have 2 of them that are lawyers. One is practicing with me. The other one is not only practicing, it's not a solicitor in UK, it's a barrister in UK, and it's practicing in UK. It's called to the bar in Nigeria, it's called to the bar in the UK. So I'm happy. Those are my biggest wins. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dennis, and congratulations on your wins. Yes, so over to you, Professor, please.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Let me also start by appreciating the Young Lawyers Forum for this wonderful occasion as the first. And we believe that as we go on, it will be greater than today. And the chair of today's occasion, the DG of the law school, I want to appreciate you too. And you know, I will keep appreciating you for life because you have made such great impacts on the lives of so many, and particularly in my life. You may not know it, but I think today's question is so apt, and we can talk about a few. Well, let me just say that my biggest win today, I have quite a few, but today is sitting here in front of you. Would you consider that a big win? And I tell you why. And the why is that for me, as a young girl, born by a woman who was a single, the only female in a family of 11, who was expected to get married at 16, and who decided she was going to go to school and learn and study and become something in life, and then having me. And our greatest desire was that I would achieve a dream that my father could not achieve. He was admitted to Oxford University to study law, but he couldn't. But when they had me, they decided that, you know, madam, you will become a lawyer one day. And here I am today. Right before you, I received a compliment outside when somebody said, oh, how old are you at the bar? And I said, I'm 35 years at the bar. And they said, no, you don't look it. I said, glory to God Almighty. But the point of the matter is that sitting before you here, I am a dream achieved. And it did not come so, it wasn't so easy. I had to traverse quite a bit. And many of those dreams that I achieved that brought me this far included my participation first at the bar when I was called 35 years ago. And at that time, I did not have any idea of what I wanted to become. Teaching was the last thing I wanted to do. But today, I'm a professor of law, and it's been a dream achieved. For me, in my family, I'm about the third lawyer. Now we have all our children studying law, which is great. But I am saying all of this for you young ones to see that dreams can be achieved. Yes, you will find a lot of disappointment, a lot of challenges, but in it, you find your big wins too. And for me, starting from a small branch, Ado-Ekiti branch, and becoming the vice chair, becoming the chair of the branch, becoming a past second vice president of the Nigerian Bar Association, and becoming chair of the Lawyers in Academia Forum, and becoming council member of Women's Forum, and in fact, being a law professor is such a great achievement. And a win that I will not forget is so recent. And that's why I said the chair of today's event is somebody I will always remember. I happen to be the dean of a faculty of law, and we had to go through the required accreditation by Council of Legal Education, by the Nigerian Universities Commission, all in the same year, all around the same time, for a university that only had a permission to start. And it was such a challenge because we weren't even sure we were going to get fully accredited, not to talk of getting increased quota. And what happened? I made sure that we crossed every T, we dotted every I, and we got 95% at NUC. And I know we got over 90% too at council. And we got full accreditation and increased quota from 50 to 110, all in 3 years. And to me, that was a big win. But all this will be important for you young ones, because coming from that background and coming this far, sitting before you and talking about some of these things that I've been able to achieve and more, of course, that I can't talk about here today. They are very important for you to know that the goal is success. How you get there will be individual, but ultimately you will get there if you keep on pressing forward. I wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Congratulations. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I want to thank the president of the NBA for carefully appointing the members of the governing council, because all of this wouldn't have been possible if we don't have a vibrant YLF governing council. And then with respect to the question, one of the biggest win is being a lawyer. Is what I've always wanted to be, and I will always be a lawyer. And then again, away from some of the biggest things we'll talk about, my biggest win is the number of thank you I have had from people I have helped as a lawyer, which is the major objective of being a lawyer for me. And today when I sat there, last night I couldn't sleep because there was an issue and I had to solve that. I had a Zoom meeting with some people who had issues at the community level. And while I was there, I received messages, thank you, barrister. Thank you for everything. And for me, that's the big one for me, because I recall when we were called to the bar, one of the major things we were asked to hold on to is justice. Other than that, of course, the more thank yous you have, the more money you have. You agree with me on that. But basically, what comes first? What makes me happy? And I can tell you that my biggest win are those moments that somebody who couldn't sleep, who will come to the office with a big burden, with a problem, and then I will speak to the person, and the person will go home happy. Those are the biggest moments. And if there's anything I'm going to celebrate, those are the moments I will definitely celebrate. And again, being a lawyer has afforded me the opportunity of sitting down here and then knowing some wonderful people. And then I would like to say this clearly, as new Wigs, I remember when our big brother here, Lenesi Katoyebi, when he came here to speak, he said, shake the person around you, talk to the person around you. For me, people means asset to me. And there's a proverb in my place that said that the number of persons you know determines your success in life. And I'm not joking about that. Whenever we come to gatherings like this, we meet people. And then I've met wonderful people, excellent people. And I think that's an achievement. Today I can look, there is no state in this country that if you have a problem and you call me. In fact, as a matter of fact, in my office, whenever there is a need to reach out to any state in the Federation, they will call me and say, Abby, do we have somebody there? And I will tell them I have somebody there. I'm not just having somebody, I have a family. For me, the legal profession is a family. And then when I see a lawyer, wherever I go and I see a lawyer, I'll be well, my mind will be okay. My mind will be peaceful because a lawyer is there. And because there's a community life. And because there's something that we all share in common. And that's my biggest achievement. And that's what has brought me here. That's why I'm seated here. It is that same belief, that same idea, that same ideology that has kept me. So that's my biggest win. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you so much. And so just before we get into the next question, I just want us to, speaking on thank you that the publicity secretary just talked about, can we all just echo thank you to all the distinguished men and women here who have in one way impacted young Wigs? Just say thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. Now, this next question is for the Lenel Silk Latif and Mrs. Oyinka Sola. The question is in two segments. Now, the question is, as a senior lawyer, what common mistakes do you see young lawyers make and how can they avoid them? In answering this question, please highlight the challenges you faced in the legal profession and the lessons you learned from them. Yes, you can start, Lenel Silk. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I always say to people And I'm particularly happy that I'm talking to the young ones here. Yes. So, and it's because it's very normal in life. We all like good things of this life. It's a normal thing. So a lot of people here, they've seen advocates come out. They've seen my friend and brother, Atoyi BSAN, say that he took silk, on the dot of 10 years. And everybody believes, of course, and it is a great thing. It is an achievement, a milestone one at that. I have a lot of young ones too, who look at me and say, oh, you've taken silk in a very short space of time in your career. And one thing I always say to them, and it's very important for young lawyers, for new wigs, to take that and bear that in mind. I tell them that what you see and what you like is the final product. It's what someone has achieved over a period of time. What you need to focus on, more importantly, is how did they do it? What is the story? And that's what we should be interested in. The sacrifice that I have made, the sacrifices that Muiwa has made, and the sacrifices that other people have made. When I started this profession, if I tell you what my salary was, only a few people here would believe that I could, stay in this profession till this long. So don't be moved by what you see in people. Be more interested in how they did it and what they went through. So, and when they tell you that, also always bear in mind that there are no hard and fast rule in life. My story is not going to be his story. His story is not going to be her story. But these stories are there for you as guidelines, as a framework, to tell you you need tenacity, you need this, you need that. But don't make that common mistake of thinking that because this person has done it this particular way, I'm going to do mine that particular way. There are a lot of ways to success. It's not just one way to success. So when you speak to people, always put that at the back of your mind. Don't take things just hook, line, and sinker. When you're being told things, internalize it and see how would it work for me. So always be mindful of that. Don't just follow stories, hook, line, and sinker. Everybody's career will be different, and the way to arrive at that would also be different. Just take the stories as guidelines, things to bear in mind, and build your own career based on those things you've been told.
Thank you very much, Lenelsik. Mrs. B, over to you.
Thank you very much. Well, what I would say is not that much different from what the learned Silk has said. I would surmise it like this: know your strengths. That's one mistake that I think that young lawyers make, that carry us into, if you like, intermediate lawyers, and even sometimes far into your career. At every point in time, there are trending areas in the profession. And it looks like that's where the next big thing is. That's where everybody is going. There was a point in time when everybody wanted to work in a bank because banking was the in thing. You wanted to go in-house. Oil and gas, entertainment law, now AI and tech and all of that. But not all of us are cut out to do some of those things. So the first thing I would say is know your strengths. As you start out in practice or in any part of the profession that you find yourself starting out in, take time to study yourself. Know yourself, know what your strengths are so that you can play to them, right? I think everybody has a copy of this little book that I gave out. If you look at number 1 and 2, number 1 and 2 kind of give you a guideline to help not make the mistakes. Number one is mind the gap. And number two is master your tools. That way, if you mind the gap, it means that there's a lot of difference between law school and actual practice. So in that space, you know your strengths, you head in the direction that plays to your strength. But please, don't be tempted to get into practice and specialize early. I hear people saying, oh, I don't want to do litigation. I want to do only corporate commercial work. Or I don't want to do any corporate commercial work. I just want to be a litigator. One helps you to be better at the other. So for the first few years of your career, please do as much as you can. That way you will know your strengths. Now about what mistake I have made, I'll give you one example. It's a very funny one. And please, when I tell this story, nobody should remind me of it when they see me outside. So I was a new wig, and I had the privilege of going to argue an appeal at the Court of Appeal at 1.5 years post-call. So my matter was very far down the list. I was like number 20-something, 22 out of 25 or something like that. And I argued the appeal, and I was so glad that I had clearly done a good job of it, and it was adjourned for judgment. And then I packed my things together, and I got up and I started making my way out of court. And then the presiding justice, Justice Issa Salami, I'll never forget, he said, counsel, you have to dress the court. Believe you me, at that point in time, if they taught me that in law school, I did not remember it at that time. So I thought I didn't say thank you well enough. I thought I didn't bow low enough. So I gathered myself together and I bowed and I said, thank you, my Lord. And I was making my way out of court again. And then the 2 or 3 or 4 lawyers left and said, sit down, sit down. You have to say, I didn't know why they said sit down, but I sat down. And I was looking confused. So Justice Salami then started educating me. Well, you know, the court is a court of dignity. And when there are just a few counsel left in court, you have to remain and dignify the court with your presence. That is what it means to dress the court. So I asked you to stay so you can dress the court. I said, thank you, my Lord. You can bet I have never forgotten what it means to dress the court. Don't remind me about this story if you see me outside.
Thank you very much, Mrs. B. That was very interesting. And so because we're tracked for time, this next question will go to Professor Faluke, the Lenelsic Akimboro, and Mrs. Uwabe. And this next question stems from what we've heard most of our keynote addresses today speak about, especially the Lenelsic Atoyebi and our keynote speaker, Chief Emeka Obegolu. And that conversation has been around the fact that hard work and consistency pays, especially for new wigs. And so this question is, what strategies have helped you transition from law school to actual legal practice? And how can you advise young lawyers to pick on these strategies? So Lenelsic Akimboro, please, you can start.
Sorry, I want the question again. What strategy?
Yes, did you adapt to transition from being a law student to actually practicing the law? And can you share some of those tips and strategies for new wigs who are about to transition or who have transitioned?
Thank you very much. Now, I want to first of all say that our law school, I've done a lot in us. And part of the great job that our law school is doing is sending us out for internships. And some of these mistakes that have been pointed out are things that if we are going to internship with full concentration, some of these things are things that you will have noticed. What I do in my office is that when you intern, we allow you full access. You go to court with us. You have access to files so that you know how it works in real life. Now, how did I transition between being a law student and becoming a legal practitioner? You see, the first thing I will tell you is that be bold to make your mistakes. Don't shy away from making mistakes. You will make your mistakes and try and learn from them. The first step is that when I left school, just like every other person, I thought my problem is finished. I thought I'm going to the world to go and start enjoying. I got employment. I went to a law office and I got employment. I can't mention my salary because even myself, I'm embarrassed to mention that I received that kind of a salary. Okay, for purpose of discussion, 300 Naira was my first salary as a lawyer. And I was, as a young man in school, I enjoyed all the things that all of us are enjoying. I enjoyed life. 300 Naira when I was in school was not even enough to take out a beautiful girl, not a girl. So when they told me that 300 Naira would not be my salary, I was heartbroken. I made my first mistake. I did not wait to understand that I was in the learning process. I shipped out. I went to a finance house. Those days were when the finance houses were ready. And my first salary when I went to finance house was 4,000 Naira and I had an official car. So I thought, to hell with practice. Now the world is at your feet. I started enjoying myself. But luckily for me, within a space of 1 or 2 years, the finance houses started crashing. So I was spending most of my time at the police station. That time, there was no EFCC. Alagbon was the in thing. I was going to Alagbon either to go and bail my MD or to go and bail some of the marketers or to go and do. So I was virtually sleeping at the police station. That drove me back to practice. My first mistake, I wanted to start running without crawling or walking. So please learn. Life is a gradual thing. It will start rough. Understand it. Then again, part of the things that drive most of us out of practice is the fear, stage fright. Let me tell you the truth. Everybody, all senior advocates, even people that are judges now, had it. My first day in court, I was supposed to move a motion. I stood up to even announce my name was a difficulty. But today, with continuous practice and whatever, I got over the stage fright. Anybody that want to tell you that I went to court the first day and I argue and appeal, and I did this and I did that, may not be telling you the whole truth. It will happen. You will stand up, you will forget everything that you have planned to say. Don't let that drive you out of court. It is normal. Also, those are the things that if you put at the back of your mind, you'll be able to forge ahead in practice. Also know that all those good things that you are seeing today are a result of years of hard work. Don't look at my brother Latif Akongwe or Muiwa Toebi and want to drive the kind of cars they are driving. Even some of us are still begging God to empower us to drive the kind of cars they are driving. You see, the truth is that it took a lot of hard work, dedication, and also if I want to tell you the story of my first car, one of my friends used to steal Yabu. We did that. At times when we are going, the car will break down. We get out of the car, we lift it up because the shock absorber had problem. Then we proceed. That is the story of all of us. So don't get scared. Don't get worried. You see, the truth is that every day you practice as a lawyer, you get better. Every day, you get better. Even as we have now that you think maybe, oh, we are still learning. You will continue to learn until maybe God calls you. So see every day as a learning process. Don't get scared. Don't get intimidated with what you see. The sky is your limit. That is the truth. And like I want to just say something about what my sister, Wigs said. Don't let anybody deceive you at this stage of your life and tell you, oh, go and specialize in arbitration, go and specialize in aviation. The truth is that if there's an arbitration brief coming out, nobody will give it to you at this stage. So you are in the stage of learning and survivor. Learn and survive. Survivor will mean do as much as CAC you can do as much as magistrate court you can do, go to court, stay in the library, write, help your seniors to write, follow them to meetings, learn as much as you can learn now. The truth is, at age 5, some of the mistakes that people will overlook for you now, nobody will overlook again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lenel Sik. We really appreciate that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and members of panel, please, I do apologize. Professor, please, before you get in, I have to crave your indulgence that we just cut you short a bit. Professor, our DJ is about to leave and he has to present a couple of awards to the award recipients. So please forgive me for cutting it short as we invite Professor Iyatu to come up to the stage, please. Over to you, Joseph.
One, two. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll invite Dr. Ojibara Mobolaji to present an award to the Director General of the Nigerian Law School in person of Professor Isa Chiroma here. To ladies and gentlemen, can we give him a resounding round of applause? Thank you. So can we have the award?
Okay, so on behalf of the Young Lawyers Forum of the Nigerian Bar Association, I have the proven privilege to present this appreciation award to the DG of the Nigerian Law School, Professor Isa Ayatu Chiroma, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, for his support towards the maiden edition of the NBA-YLF New Wigs Induction. Today, the 11th of July, 2025. Congratulations, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Another round of applause for the DG of Nigerian Law School. Thank you so much, sir, for your time today and for gracing this occasion with your presence. And so now we're just going to wrap up the session because we still have to take a couple of awards and we have to move on to the second panel session for the day. And so for Professor Foluke and our publicity Secretary for NBA, and of course, Mrs. Owabere. What you're going to be telling us now are your words of advice and wisdom to the new Wigs in just about a minute. Tell us your final words of advice and what you want them to leave today's induction program with. Over to you, Professor.
All right, thank you very much. So, as far as I know, it will be very important for all of you not to chase the money as you start. Money will come as you go on. Chase the knowledge. I leave you with that. Don't rush to do a solo practice. Stay with a law firm where you can learn and make your mistakes. And I tell you, all will go well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Faluke. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think you will hear a lot of things as young lawyers. You will see a lot of things, hear a lot of things. People will tell you that, look, this lawyer thing is not a good one. A whole lot of discouraging stories you will hear. And then looking at some of the seniors and what they have achieved will also be a big challenge for you. But I want to assure you that in every success story you hear, there's always a backstory. And that backstory is to the extent that a whole lot must have happened at the background without you knowing before they get to that point. And then a whole lot must have happened to that lawyer that you know that is not doing well. For the lawyer that is doing well, he must have also done a whole lot. So you have your own life, your own story to create. So don't say because Mr. A didn't get it right, you will also be like that person. It's going to be a challenging one. For you to come over here, for you to sit here, today you were called yesterday, day before yesterday, just 3 days ago or so. It's going to be a tough one. Sometimes too, where we're coming from also count for how it's going to be for us. And then always understand the fact that you are you. Your circumstances may be different from the next person. Where you're coming from, your community, your background, all of that. So concentrate on yourself. Appreciate yourself that, look, I am a lawyer today. You put in so much to be a lawyer, you know. So that alone should inform you that, look, I have achieved this. I can do better. I will do more. I will get there. You can be an SAN, could be anything. It's in our palm. So we don't have to choose. You have, of course, we are responsible to the kind of stories we choose. You can decide to choose that, look, this is what I want to be. This is kind of what I want to take. But I assure you that once you've been able to identify all of these things and identify what you want to be, what you want to do with your life as a lawyer, whatever people say doesn't count. What you say, what you believe, what you want to do, and where you're going is what counts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. So over to you, Ma.
Okay, so I'm going to say 2 things. I don't know if any of us here went to the University of Benin. Do we have anybody here that went to the University of Benin? So that means we'll be familiar with Professor Sanho Omoyi. I remember when I was still in Uniben, he told me something that has always guided me. He said, the beauty of the practice of law is that you can always create your own path. I always wished that either maybe I work in one of the big law firms in Lagos, or I become secretary for NNPC, as Mrs. Bade just said. There was a time where everybody wanted to work in NNPC. So I knew that I wasn't going to get that grade that would take me there. But he said the beauty of legal practice is that you have the opportunity to carve a space for yourself, whether it is in the academic field, or you become senior advocate, or you become a partner in a law firm, or you open your own practice. Whatever it is, you have the opportunity, or you may decide to go into business or whatever it is, but the practice of law, you have the opportunity to create a space for yourself. So I want us to live with that. You are not just a lawyer just to wear the wig and gown, that's it. No, there are opportunities available for you in the legal practice. And then number 2, which is something that a lot of us are still struggling with, especially the older generation. As much as you are learning the practice of law, please learn the business of law. And the business of law includes administrative duties. It includes your personal brand. It includes how you calculate numbers. You are not just learning law, reading your law reports when you enter the law firm. You must understand also the business of law. And finally, please, you are too early to say you want to go into just one niche. Like what our speakers have said, it is too early. Or I've seen some new wigs who say, I want to go into arbitration. I want to go into entertainment. That's the one thing you want to do. I promise you, even at 3-4 years post-call, there are some clients that will not give you a brief because they don't trust you. So you have to be open to learning. Please find a law firm. Please find a law firm to learn. Please do not create a niche for yourself now. It's too early. Be like an octopus and just pick from everywhere so that as you grow older, you'll be able to streamline your strength, like Mrs. B has said. You find your strength and then you work with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just like all our panelists have said, and just like our last panelist said, that the beauty of the law is you can create your own path. And if I may borrow the words of our keynote speaker for today, he said, be the new voice that creates new legacies. Please let us give our panelists for today a round of applause. They have done absolute justice. Please, you can stand and clap for them. They've done absolute justice to today's conversation, and we're grateful. Can we all just say thank you to all of them, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Please keep clapping as they go back to their seats, and we move on to the next set of today's program. Please keep clapping till they get to their seats. Thank you so much, Mr. Wabre. Thank you, Mrs. B. Thank you, Leonard Suk Latif. Thank you, Leonard Suk Akimber. Thank you, Professor Foluke. Thank you so much. Yes, so, okay, we will take a group photograph and then we'll do the presentation of their awards. So please, can our speakers get together? Let's do a group photograph.
Thank you very much. We want to appreciate the panelists for a wonderful discussion. Very quickly, while they are taking a snapshot, we'll invite Chief Emeka Obegulu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the keynote speaker of today, to present an award to our panelists. So please, sirs, if you can just wait a little. The learned Senior Advocate is going to be presenting awards to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being part of this wonderful session. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
The first appreciation award is to Mrs. Oyinkashola Badejo, Mrs. B. On behalf of the Young Lawyers Forum of the Nigerian Bar Association, we present this appreciation award for serving as a panelist at the maiden edition of YLF New Wigs Induction. Congratulations, madam.
Etaba Ramla Anko, I forgive you for calling me Oyinkosola Badejo, because I know my name is a sentence. So it couldn't fit onto the, I forgive you. Thank you.
The next presentation is for Are Olumuyiwa Akimboro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. It's a privilege to present this to you on behalf of the Young Lawyers Forum of the Nigerian Bar Association. This appreciation award is for serving as a panelist at the maiden edition of the NBA-YLF New Wigs Induction. Congratulations, sir. I hope you don't want to say anything. Did they misspell your name?
Nobody misspells my name. My name is simply Olumuyiwa Akimboro, and they got it right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So can I, Yemi Akombe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, please, can you come forward? A round of applause, please. Yemi, on behalf of the Young Lawyers Forum of the NBA, I present this appreciation award to you for your service as a panelist at the maiden edition of the NBA-YLF New Wigs Induction. Thank you and congratulations. I want to say something too.
I have no problems with the way my name has been spelled. It is the way the presenter has pronounced my name, Yemi. Yemi, not Yemi. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Please go into the world and conquer. Seek for mentors, seek for coach, seek for sponsors. You need one of them. Thank you.
What Yemi has done is to re-emphasize his name, and they get why. May I call upon Professor Foluke Dada Lawson on behalf of the Young Lawyers Forum of the Nigerian Bar Association. I make this presentation to you as an appreciation award for serving as a panelist at the maiden edition of the Nigerian Bar Association YLF New Weeks induction. Congratulations and thank you.
So I just want to say thank you, even though Lawson is not my name, it's Lawanson. You know Lawanson, Lagos now. I have, but it's okay. I take it in good faith. And I will advise all of you to keep the noble profession going. You have just entered into it. And I want you, just like the late DG of council, late Ibirum Kese, and said to us when we were being called, I will say to you again, it said, go into the world, walk shoulders straight, heads high, as if you know everything, even if you know nothing. So the essence of that is you have the responsibility to keep the bar together, and the nobility of the bar is not negotiable. Thank you all.
Thank you, Prof. What you actually said is that they should maintain steez. Prof has said maintain steez. Okay, Osato, I didn't know your full name before now. Osato Hanwen Owagbo. I used to call her Osato, my very good friend. Congratulations. On behalf of the Young Lawyers Forum, presents this appreciation award to you for serving as a panelist at the maiden NBA-YLF New Weeks induction. Congratulations and thank you. I'm sure you don't have anything to say. You have said it all. Thank you. My younger brother, Precious, it's a privilege. Please come forward. I'm happy to present this to you, Precious Abi, in appreciation of your serving as a panelist at the maiden edition of the NBA-YLF Wigs induction. Congratulations and continue the hard work. Thank you. Precious has nothing more to say. We are now inviting the learned senior advocates here present to come and join us for a group picture. Distinguished colleagues, after all has been said and done, please let more be done than said. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Immediately, the senior advocates of Nigeria are done taking a very good snapshot together with our panelists. The YLF chairman, alongside members of the governing council, will take a snapshot with the panelists. Not just the YLF chairman and the governing council, other YLF chairmen of other branches would also join the picture. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the compares for today, one of us is about to take up the stage. So the next voice you'll be hearing shall be that of Olisa Oluwaseun. He will be handling the microphone for this next segment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jaja. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, we're going to be presenting the award to our keynote speaker, no other person than a man with so many caps, the past president of ICMC, president of ACCI, and also the chairman of AGC. To present this award will be no other person than the chairman of the Future of Legal Practice Committee, Chief Dr. Paul Harris, Ogbole Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Please, a round of applause for him, please. He'll be presenting the award to Chief Emeka Obegolu, the keynote speaker of this.
Thanks for this honor and privilege. Wow, the hall is full. Yeah. This is impressive. Well, I think, gentlemen, next time, take out time to see the number of people who are upstairs. To all of you, please, congratulations. Well, I apologize. I came in a bit late. I had to be in court before coming here. But I'd like to say a word here, which is to say that I commend very, very seriously the leadership of the Young Lawyers Forum and all of you young lawyers and our colleagues who have been able to make it here today to grace this occasion of the induction of our colleagues into the profession. By the way, congratulations to all of you. You made it this far. Congratulations. An applause to all of yourselves, please, gentlemen. Great. Chief Emeka Obegolu, you know, during our time, we didn't have something like this. There was no induction for us. From the one, we just needed to begin to act like lawyers without any induction. Well, on behalf of the Young Lawyers Forum of the Nigerian Bar Association, this is an appreciation award presented to Chief Emeka Obegolu, SAN, for your support towards the maiden edition of the NBA-YLF New Wigs Induction, dated this day, the 11th day of July, 2025. Congratulations, Jim. I'm sure Emeka will have a word for us. Thank you.
All I need to say has been said. Thank you, young lawyers. I feel I'm part of you. I'm a young lawyer in spirit. But last 26 years ago, I was in your position and I asked myself, where do you want to be? And here I am today. If you can answer that question today, you will find yourself where you want to be. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Saz. Thank you, sir. So right now, we will be calling to the microphone for a goodwill message. She is representing Mr. Ishak Diko, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the principal partner of MI Diko and Associates. So I will be calling to the microphone Dr. Victoria of MI Diko and Associates for a brief goodwill message. Please, a round of applause for her, please. 2 minutes, please, ma'am. Yes. Please, let's save captains till she gets here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I seek your kind indulgence to stand on existing protocol. I have already been warned that I have 2 minutes, even without starting. I have a written goodwill message from my senior advocate, Mudi Ishaka Diko SAN. Well, the import of what I have here before me is to congratulate the new Wigs and to welcome you to this noble profession and to remind you that the road is very broad and there are so many facets of law that you can find your feet in anyone you wish to. But it reminds you that there is need for you to learn from the experienced lawyers, both those who have addressed us here today and those that you will encounter as you go along. So from the beginning, he said that you should find your feet in the areas that suit you. Do not relent in learning. Be confident and confront the most noble profession on earth and excel like those who have addressed us here today. Thank you so much and welcome to the noble profession. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. So, Ma, just before you leave, we have an award for the principal partner of MIDCO. And to present that award will be no other person than Mr. Jonathan Tidy, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Please, a round of applause for him as he comes out to present the award. Let's keep clapping, please. And I'm told that we have representatives of the section on business law and also representatives of section on legal practice who are going to deliver good messages. Just be informed. Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate the leadership of the Young Lawyers Forum for putting together this maiden induction program. Congratulations. On behalf of the Young Lawyers Forum, Nigerian Bar Association, I present this award of appreciation to my learned brother friend, Ishaka Mudi Diko, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank him for the support he has rendered to the young lawyers. And may this be the beginning of greater things to happen to all of you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Please, could we have the representative of the section on business law and also representative of the section of legal practice? And just for your information, the Nigerian Bar Association has 3 different sections. We have section on business law, SPDL, we also have, that's SBL, we have SLP, that's section on legal practice, and then we have SPDL, the section on public interest and development law. Just before they come up, I will just call the chairman, Future of Legal Practice, to give his goodwill message, Dr. Paul Harris Ogole. Please, a round of applause for him, please, as he comes on stage.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about to listen to the chairman of the Future on Legal Practice in person of Paul Harris Ogole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. And the Leonard Silk is not just going to give us his goodwill message, rather, but I know he has some vital information to tell us about what we need to do as well as young lawyers coming up. So we'll just give the Leonard Senior Advocate a couple of minutes because we have quite a lot before us. And please, we have a lot before us, and if you can just exercise a little patience, we'll be out of this place in no time. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Once again, it's such an honor and privilege to be before all of us. The protocol is established, and I abide by the protocol duly established. Now, again, I congratulate the leadership of the Young Lawyers Forum of the NBA. And I congratulate all the young lawyers, those who were called to bar this week, and for the other young lawyers who are still young at the bar and young at heart. For lawyers, learning never ends. It is a continuous process. So welcome to the field of learning. You may be learned gentlemen, you are learned gentlemen now, but you are always learning. And your experiences will continue to make you better and better and greater as lawyers. Once again, I say that organizing a program like this that inducts our young lawyers into practice is invaluable. This is the maiden edition. It is commendable. It is well attended. The discussions here and the lessons learned and the experiences shared will go a long way in ensuring that we have a greater quality of lawyers who would learn from the mistakes of seniors who have shared their experiences and who will make the profession a better place for all of us. The thing about the profession is that it is noble. So remember that it is important that we are called as lawyers to be fit and proper. Fit in learning, proper in character. So these two go together. We must continue to imbibe and express the values and virtues of the practice and the etiquette. Learning is a continuous process, and so as we welcome you to the bar, the future is yours. And from the Committee of Future on Legal Practice, we would be interacting with you very soon and very often to discuss with you what we see as a future, which we all look forward to. The legal profession is evolving. It is not static. And we will see and share from experiences of lawyers within Nigeria and outside of Nigeria, the global trends and the opportunities as time goes on. You see, the thing about the profession is that, like the speakers earlier said, indeed, it is what you make of it. I recall way back when I was taking the course Land Law in the university. My lecturer then, Justice Idrisu now, or retired now, said something to us. He said, gentlemen, take this land law that I'm teaching you seriously. Nobody will teach you land law again outside of this course. And he said, you may not understand what I'm saying, but I tell you, the great Rotimi Williams did this same course that you are doing now. This is the only land law course he studied, land law. And today he's a great lawyer. So every course that we studied, every course unit, every subject that we took, that may be, in practical sense, the only formal education that we would have for all of those courses. The rest is what we build upon it. That's why the efforts of our colleagues handling the continuous legal education of the NBA must be commended. And you must imbibe what they are doing to keep yourself abreast with developments in the practice. On my part, I say, gentlemen, welcome to the bar. Put in your best. Be modest in your expectations. And work hard. Come, it will surely come. The results will come and they shall be positive. You will grow and you will get to ride the kind of cars that were mentioned earlier. I know Taidi drives a very big car. You will get to drive the kind of cars that Taidi drives. The limousine that Onyeka Badejo drives, you will drive that. My brother, the youngest SAN, or the youngest SAN, not that young anymore, Atoebi, drives very, very lavish cars. And you will get to drive cars like that, bigger cars. I don't want to talk about my brother, Emeka Begolu. So all the big names you hear today, you will all get bigger. There's no hurry. Just don't hurry about it. Keep up the good work and continue. And in no time, you will be like, wow, so this is where we are. So aim for the best, aim for the highest, and God will see you through. Once more, congratulations, and God bless you.
A round of applause. Thank you so much. We have representatives of... Thank you so much, sir. Please, do we have representatives of the section on business law? And also representatives of the section on legal practice? Okay. Business law? Okay, Mr. Max Ekonbe. Please, a round of applause for him. Let's welcome him upstage, please. Thank you, sir. So he's just going to speak to us briefly about the section on business law.
Hello? Hello? Okay, I strongly believe that we've been sitting for a while now. Please, I'll just indulge us before the representative of section on business law comes up. He will be coming up to tell us what you will be expecting at the section of business law and why he will be inviting you to be part of that particular segment of the Nigerian Bar Association. But before he comes up, I just want you to just look beside you. Just look beside you, turn to your right. If it is your wife that is by your side, just look for something and compliment on that particular person. If it's the person's face, just tell him you are looking beautiful. If it's the person's suit, just tell him your suit is looking nice. Leonard Silk, you are looking so wonderful today. So I strongly believe that we are having a very great time. However, I want to let us all know that the peak of this particular wonderful ceremony is going to be in the evening, whereby we all will be gathered here and we'll have a very, very nice, wonderful party, cocktail, meats, and every other enjoyment that you would get to have. So please, I crave your indulgence to just give us a couple of minutes. In an hour, not more than an hour, we are going to be leaving this place. You all should know that as well, that we'll be having the induction proper because it is like a proper way of welcoming you into the Young Lawyers Forum. So that's a very, very important time. So ladies and gentlemen, we are just about to take the second panel session, which is not going to last for much more than an hour. It would not even be up to that. However, before that time, I'm going to invite the Leonard Silk. Sorry, the representative of the section on business law is here. So immediately he is done, we'll get to have the representative of the section on legal practice, SLP. If they are here, they should get set so that they will get to tell you what you would anticipate in those sections. So, sir, please, you just have 2 minutes for this particular time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I would say, dear colleagues, permit me to start by welcoming all of you to the largest bar in Africa. My name is Max Ikongbe. I'm here on behalf of the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association section on business law, Mrs. Ozofu Ogiemudia. She sends her warm regards and apologizes that she cannot be here with you to welcome you in person, but she feels your excitement and she's also really excited for you. So I'll just quickly, with the few minutes I have, introduce you to the NBA section on business law. We are known popularly as the NBA-SBL, and urge and invite you to join us at the NBA-SBL. The media, I have a QR code. If you can just help me put that QR code up on the screen. If you want to join the NBA-SBL, there's good news for you. The chair of the NBA-SBL has given a waiver for any one of you who joins who intends or applies to join the SBL by scanning the QR code that will be coming up shortly and will also be available at the registration desk. You get a free registration to join the NBA-SBL along with a 1-year subscription for 2026 to be a member of the NBA-SBL. I hope that deserves a round of applause from you. So I would ensure the NBA-SBL chair hears that round of applause in appreciation for her kind gesture. So quickly, the NBA-SBL is one of the specialist sections of the NBA. It was set up over 20 years ago. We actually celebrated our 20th anniversary last year. The purpose of the NBA-SBL is primarily to engender the professional development of Nigerian commercial lawyers and to raise the level of business law practice in Nigeria. So at the SBL, we believe that beyond servicing clients who are businesses, that our own law firms also should be run properly as businesses. So being a member of the SBL entitles you to quite a range of benefits. Media, I don't know if you have my QR code yet. Yes, please, you can put it up just so you scan that QR code and you can join and become a member of the section on business law. So being a member of the NBA-SBL gives you a wide range of benefits. I'll list a few of them. You have heard a lot said today about getting your credit units to be eligible to continue practicing as a lawyer each year. So the NBA-SBL has events where you can actually get those CPD points. A wide range of our programs are actually free. Lots of them are also online. You can just join online and you get your ICLE points that makes you eligible to continue practicing for the next calendar year. In addition, the SBL has a flagship conference, the annual International Business Law Conference, where we bring together the best minds from the business sector and the legal sector. And just being in that room gives you access to a wide network that could increase your chances of learning, of earning, and of networking, and of recreation as well. So the compare told you that he won one of the competitions at the NBA-SBL conference in 2023. It's called Lawyers Got Talent. It was a talent show organized by lawyers, strictly for lawyers. So those, amongst others, are the many benefits you get by being a member of the NBA section on business law. Additionally, at the NBA-SBL, we have 26 sector specialist committees where you can deepen your learning and your networks. We have so many committees: insurance and pensions, intellectual property, international trade law, technology, and so many other specialist areas of law. So I want to encourage each and every one of you. The QR code is up on the screen. Kindly scan the QR code, fill in your details. You will be pre-registered, and at the right time, you get an email with a coupon to register and become a member of the NBA-SBL and get a 1-year free subscription to the NBA-SBL. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, I congratulate you for joining the largest bar in Africa. I look forward to seeing you at the next NBA SBL conference. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful presentation. Please, do we have a representative from the section on legal practice? If we have any, then we'll have him to come over. All right, very quickly, I'd like to introduce the second panel. Okay, the Leonard Senior Advocate had spoken. That was why initially I had mentioned when you came up here, I said the Leonard Senior Advocate would tell us what we are going to be expecting at the section on legal practice prior now. So Leonard Silk, please, you will do us the favor of subsuming whatsoever it is that you would get to say in just few minutes so that we will take the next panel session. So meanwhile, the next panelists, please, we would want you to get set. While you're coming up, we would want the man that tidies the bar to also get set, the Leonard Silk, for his 2 minutes goodwill message while the panelists are up here. So very quickly, I'll invite the Leonard Silk, Paul Harris, to come over for a brief Leonard Silk. Yeah, come over.
Well, thank you so very much once again. I'm standing in for Boma Alabi SAN, OON, who is the chairman of the section on legal practice committee of the NBA. She's unavoidably absent, and she sends her greetings to this body, to all of us young lawyers. As chair of the section on legal practice, she has been involved in the activities of that committee. The committee in itself is like the mother of all committees, in the sense that once you are a practitioner, once you are a legal practitioner, be you the advocate, be you the arbitrator, be you the one who does solicitor's work, be you the company secretary, whichever aspect of law that you practice, the section on legal practice is open to you. And recall that it was said earlier that as young lawyers, do not restrict yourselves to specialization immediately. So open yourselves also to litigation and general practice. So the section on legal practice is home for you. At the last conference we had in Jos, we had lawyers from all walks of life who attended it. And it was a conference like none other. The section welcomes you and exposes you to their series of conferences, online programs, lectures, seminars, and interactions, where you get to share ideas on contemporary approach to legal practice. And once you are in that committee, you would actually miss out nothing, because it's like you have a bird's eye view on various areas of the legal profession. So the section on legal practice welcomes you to the bar and encourages you to feel free to register and participate in the activities of the section on legal practice. Bear in mind that as lawyers, you are open to registering and being member of one or two or more sections. Like I'm a member of one or two other sections. And so the benefit is enormous. Once you are in these committees, just like the section on legal practice, it's your first point of call and interaction in your area of practice. So congratulations, welcome, and we wish you all the very best as you enjoy the bar. Thank you.
All right, very quickly, I'll invite Atoyebi Mayowa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, to present an award to Paul Aris Ogbole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a resounding round of applause? Thank you very much as we invite, as he then was the youngest Senior Advocate of Nigeria. I stand to be corrected. I do not know whether or not it is still date. But then I know he's one of the youngest senior advocates we have in Nigeria. So he will be presenting this award to Paul Aris Ogbole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
This is an appreciation award from the Young Lawyers from Nigerian Bar Association to my big brother and friend, Paul Aris Ogbole, SAN, for your support towards the maiden edition of the NBA-YLF New Wigs Induction. Thank you so much, and we're grateful.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a resounding round of applause to that presentation? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. Of course, Atoyebi Mayowa is still the youngest senior advocate of Nigeria we have, sir. Atoyebi Muyiwa, senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you very much, sir. Very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call on the next segment of our panel section, which is tagged the new rule book, Young Lawyers, Bold Moves, and the Future of Justice. So to do us the honors of this particular session, I'll invite the first person on my list in person of Adam Mohammed, principal and founder of Mohammed Adam and Associates. Please, can we give a resounding round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? The next on my list here, we have an associate with a tier 1 law firm in the country and Africa at large. Ladies and gentlemen, from Udo Udoma and Bello Osage, I would like to bring up one of its associates in person of Daniel Adedigba. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give him a resounding round of applause? While our panelists are coming up, we would want NBA Women Forum to get ready for a brief 2-minute goodwill alongside the feeder. If they are also here, they should get ready for a 2-minute goodwill message while our panelists get ready. I had promised us that we wouldn't exceed 3 p.m. here. We'll be done with our panel session and the induction, God's willing. And very quickly, I'd like to invite on stage Ozioma B. Soludo. She is an associate as one of the trailblazing law firms we have in the country at Kena. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give her a resounding round of applause? Yes. Ozioma is one of the powerhouse, I know, amongst the young lawyers we have currently in the country. She has written her name on the sands of gold for herself. Congratulations, Ozioma, and you are highly welcome to our panel session. And very quickly, we have the honors of having Favor Ngozi Eku, a senior legislative aide to the Deputy Speaker, Federal House of Representatives. She's here with us, ladies and gentlemen. Can we give her a resounding round of applause? Can we give her a resounding round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? This great individual is a lawyer and a politician par excellence, and she's here amidst us this afternoon to be part of the panel session. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor of also bringing up on stage Ridwan Babatunde, a senior associate at Vantage Attorneys. Ridwan is one of the men of integrities that I know, and he's here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give him a resounding round of applause as he joins the panel session? Can we give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And very quickly, I'd like to also bring up on stage the moderator of this panel session in person of Michael Arinze. Michael Arinze, a red scroller that just got called to the Nigerian bar. Can we give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? An erstwhile loss and president. So very quickly, before we take up the next panel session, I'd like to invite the learned silk that tidies the bar, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, sir. I'll give you just 2 minutes for your goodwill message while the panelists get prepared alongside the moderator. Immediately he is done, we will take a representative from the NBA Women Forum as well. So ladies and gentlemen, the next voice for a couple of minutes that you will be hearing shall be the senior advocate that tidies the bar. Lynette Silk, you are highly welcome.
Thank you so very much. Our distinguished colleagues, I won't call you new Wigs. I join others in welcoming you to the legal profession. A lot has been said during the call and even this morning. All I need to add is to say that you're coming into the profession at a time that the legal profession is facing monumental challenges, and we have to work a bit harder to be able to restore the confidence of the society in us members of this profession. From my experience here while I was General Secretary, approximately on a daily basis, if you receive 10 letters, the likelihood was that about 7 of them were complaints from those who have engaged services of our colleagues. So we need to apply a lot of caution while taking instructions for some of us that are going to go into legal practice. Apply a lot of caution so that you don't begin on that slate where the client begins to focus on you, especially when those things that you're expected to do are contrary to what the client wants you to do. The other area has to do with how we should continue at all times to self-develop. I recall when we were called to bar about 25 years ago, virtually our research and all that were manual. Today, a lot of things have changed. What has not changed is the expectation that you're going to put in the same amount of hard work, do your due diligence, so that you will be outstanding, both in terms of the work that you are doing and the result that you will get. We wish all of us a very fulfilled career in this profession. Once more, welcome to the largest bar in Africa, and God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Leonard Silk. Ladies and gentlemen, we deeply apologize. We would have to bring up, as part of our panelists this afternoon, Baba Yemi Olanihon, Esquire, Principal Partner at Lehi Attorneys. He is part of the panelists this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give him a resounding round of applause even as he takes his seat? Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your presence. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Very quickly, before Arinze takes up the moderation of the panel session, I'll invite these 2 individuals, just a minute we'll give them, from the NBA Women's Forum. Do we have a representative? Okay, please, can we give her a resounding round of applause even as she comes up? Ma'am, please, you just have 1 minute, 30 seconds for your delivery. And the next person will also take 1:30 seconds, which is 3 minutes. Then we proceed with our panel session. So please, can you please bear with us? Thank you very much for your patience.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Esther Ifeoma Jimo. I'm a member of the NBA Women Forum's Governing Council, and I'm here representing the chairperson of the council, who unfortunately is unavoidably absent. First and foremost, I would like to say congratulations to all of you, my colleagues. You're welcome to the bar. A lot has actually been said as to the path, how to succeed in this profession. And so I would like to encourage you all and also add that you seek out mentors. The importance of mentorship can never be underestimated or even overemphasized. So I would encourage you all to seek out persons that you admire within the profession, either their personality, their professionalism, and all of that, and try to get close and learn as much as you can. And so without further ado, I will be rendering the speech, or delivering the speech rather, of the chairperson of the forum, the NBA Women Forum, who is unavoidably absent, but sends her regards. The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mazi Afam Osigwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the chairman of the occasion, Professor Isa Shiroma, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, DG of the Nigerian Law School, the keynote speaker, Chief Emeka Obegolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the General Secretary of the NBA, Dr. Mobalaji Ojibara, the chairman of the NBA Young Lawyers Forum, distinguished learned staff, professors, respected guests, esteemed seniors and colleagues, and of course, our newly called members and colleagues of the bar. All other protocols duly observed. Good afternoon all. So what I'm going to be rendering now is a speech of the chairperson of the NBA Women Forum. It gives me immense pleasure and pride to stand before you today as chairperson of the Nigerian Bar Association Women Forum on this momentous occasion, the induction of the 2025 cohorts of the new Wigs into the noble profession of law. On behalf of the NBA Women Forum, I extend warmest congratulations to each and every one of you. Today marks the end of one journey and the beginning of another. You are no longer just law students or aspirants to the bar. You are now full members of the legal profession. You have earned the right to wear the wig and gown, and with it comes the duty to uphold justice, fairness, and integrity in all that you do. As you step into this new phase of your career, I urge you to always remember the core values of the legal profession, which is honor, courage, and service. Whether you find yourself in the courtroom, in a corporate boardroom, in public service, or in quiet solitude of legal research and writing, let these values be your compass. To the young women in this room, I speak to you especially as the chairperson of the Women Forum. Know that there is no limit to how far you can go. The legal profession is no longer what it used to be. Women are now at the table as judges, senior advocates, attorneys general, and bar leaders. You too can get there. The forum is here to support you, to guide you, work with you as you grow into the leaders in law and in society. Do not dim your light. Own your space with confidence. And do not be afraid to raise your voice for justice, especially for those who cannot speak for themselves. To all the new Wigs, both male and female alike, I encourage you to see this profession not merely as a source of income, but as a lifelong calling. Let your practice be defined by competence, character, and compassion. The future of the legal profession, and indeed the justice system, lies in your hands. You are the new custodians of the rule of law. I also charge you to be mindful of your mental health and well-being, which is very important. This is a demanding profession. Build strong support systems, stay grounded, never lose sight of your humanity in pursuit of legal perfection. In closing, I welcome you all once again to the bar. I assure you that the NBA and particularly the Women Forum is always open to supporting your growth, protecting your rights, and creating a community where all lawyers, regardless of gender, can thrive. Congratulations, learned colleagues. Thank you, and may your journey at the bar be of excellence and fulfillment. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was an apt delivery by the NBA Women's Forum. Very quickly, we'll take another minute, 30 seconds from FIDA. Please, if we can make that very snappy, would be grateful. Immediately they are done. Arinze, you just kick up with the panel session. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give the representative of FIDA a resounding round of applause even as she comes up? Yes. So immediately she's done, Arinze is going to kickstart the panel session.
Good afternoon, a beautiful afternoon to my colleagues, Leonard Silks, first the president of the Nigerian Bar, ably represented by the General Secretary, Leonard Silks, the chairman of the Young Lawyers Forum, wonderfully so, Mr. Timothy and his very able team, my senior colleagues and distinguished new Wigs. Thank you for having me. As you would see, unfortunately, today is Friday, so I'm well dressed for my Friday. But unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the prayer ground because I had been with you all day. This is very important for me, for all of us, especially the female lawyers. Having been in my sister's shoe as a past governing member of the Nigerian Bar Association Women Forum, the state lead for Abuja, the FCT, the coordinator of the Northern Zone, I want to tell you that in all of these fairs, a member of the Nigerian Bar Association Business Law session and the legal practice, all of the fora, I belong to them. So, but importantly, where we give back to our society, which is one of the core essence of being a lawyer, is FIDA, the International Federation of Women Lawyers. Here, we preserve, we protect, we advance and empower the indigent women and children of our society. And you bear me witness that we have a lot. And we do a lot in this field. And as the vice chairperson of the Abuja branch of FIDA Nigeria, I stand in the stead of my chair, Mrs. Chioma Onyonichu Oku. I'm sorry. So I stand in that state to welcome you to the bar. And she said, Swagalicious women, you're welcome. And hence for that, we are welcoming you in a very special, very sensational way tomorrow. We have a hangout for you. I'll be sending the flyer out to the young lawyers. They'll project it so that you can get the number and preserve your seats. There you will know so much about us and what you need to do to be to give back to your society. Very importantly, anything you do as a lawyer, you should give back. And this is where we give back to society. And if you know about FIDA, we are too strong for any section, any body, anywhere where in the world. Even in the courts, we are recognized because we stand for justice, fairness, and equity. So to say, everything we learn in law, we give back to the society. So please, we welcome you. We thank you as you come. We celebrate you. Congratulations, you've earned your rights. We are so happy. I was in your shoes so many years ago, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Congratulations once more, and God bless.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Please, can we still give her another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. As I said earlier, we'll go straight up to the next panel session, which is going to take a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, we want to let you all know that I had said this earlier, and I am going to reiterate this, that We'll just be taking
Thank
a
you very
brief time off here. Immediately, we are done with the panel session and the induction because these are the last two things we have for now. And when we come back much later, we have a wonderful time. We'll have wonderful packages for each and every one of you. That is the cocktail party. So we would want each and every one of you, as you go, you could just refresh yourself and come back here because we are going to be having a nice time with each and every one of you. So ladies and gentlemen, the next voice you will be hearing next shall be that of Arinzes. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and my fellow new Wigs. My name is Michael M. Arinze, and I'm privileged to be moderating this session. It's going to be an impactful session, a session hosted by young lawyers, for young lawyers, and by young lawyers. So please, if you are distracted by anything, please focus because this time around, it is young lawyers talking to each other. And we have gone ahead to get people who have made their marks in the legal industry in their short years of post-call, and they are here with us this afternoon. Please pay attention as they take us through the topic, the new rule book, Young Lawyers, Bold Moves, and the Future of Justice. Briefly, in 10 seconds, I would like them to introduce themselves once more so that we'll get to meet them. I'll start by my left.
Good afternoon, everyone. I start is to congratulate you, and everybody has said that indeed you are welcome to the largest bar in Africa. It's indeed a pleasure to welcome you indeed. My name is Daniel Olufemi Adedigba, and I'm opportune to work in the best law firm in Nigeria and by extension in Africa, Odo Odoma and Bello Osage, and I'm saying this without prejudice to other law firms. I'm an associate in the firm. I'm passionate about the legal profession and the practice of law, and it is indeed my pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ozioma Beulah Soludo. I am an associate at Kenna Partners, which is obviously the best law firm in Nigeria. Daniel, the best law firm in Nigeria. I am a member of the dispute resolution sector of the firm, and I'm very excited to be here to talk to you today. And I joined Daniel to welcome you all to the largest bar in Africa. And I especially thank the Nigerian Bar Association Young Lawyers Forum for the invitation, and I congratulate them on what has turned out to be a very, very successful maiden induction ceremony. Thank you.
Please, let's clap for them as they introduce themselves, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I'll just do the line of my fellow colleagues. I'll start by saying welcome to the biggest bar in Africa. It is indeed a huge one. So if you're not reliving these moments, I think you should. So this is me saying welcome, learned colleagues. You're no longer lawyers in equity, but now you are counsels. So welcome. My name is Favor Ngozi Egu. I'm a lawyer and I'm privileged to work with the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. I work on the policy units and humanitarian affairs, and it's a privilege to be here to speak to you today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Babayemi Olanio. I'm the lead partner of Lay Attorneys, a corporate commercial law firm in Abuja. I will not say we are the best or we are the first, but we're a top law firm in Abuja, Nigeria. And I welcome you to the largest bar and the most proactive bar in Nigeria and in West Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So just as I said earlier, the topic we're interrogating this afternoon is the new rule book, young lawyers, bold moves, and the future of justice. This is not just a conversation. This is about the blueprint, how young lawyers are shaping the industry. We understand that the legal profession in Nigeria is full of traditions, but we're not just invited to adapt to those conditions. We're invited to shape the system. With the globalization and a lot of new frontiers opening up, young lawyers are playing key roles towards moving the frontiers of legal practice. And here in the panel, we have distinguished young lawyers who will take us through this ride. So I will start with the first question, and the first question is going to be taken by all the panelists. So I will start with Mr. Daniel. So the first question is, what bold decisions or move defined the early part of your legal career? What bold decision or move defined the earlier part of your legal career?
All right, thank you very much. There are quite a number of bold steps that I took. Immediately, I joined the practice of law. And I'm indeed thankful that some of the senior lawyers have left, because there are some myths that will be debunking today. So while I was at the university, I was a president of the Law Student Society. So I was an advocate. I often travel around universities in Nigeria for moot and mock. While I was at the law school, I was the lead counsel for the moot and mock that we did at the law school. So I had a pattern of advocacy in the form of litigation. So I had no doubt that I want to be a litigation lawyer. So from law school, university days, I had no doubt. When I made, the choice of drawing towards mentors, I chose those that are indeed in the courtroom practice. But something changed. Immediately I stepped out of law school, I worked with a senior advocate of Nigeria, indeed highly respected Leonard Silk. I was there for just 2 months, and that was refreshing. I was somewhere I want to be. I go to court every day, happily. We are forced to read law report every week, happily, absolutely happily. But at some point, I found that there is the quest for more. I need to learn outside the activities of the courtroom. So I joined Udo Udoma and Bello Osage as a youth corps member. We call it trainee associate. And while I was a trainee, being a firm that has 26 practice groups and close to 20 partners, you have the opportunity to now rotate across board. So not just dispute resolution, you are exposed to taxation, you are exposed to mining and metals, aviation, banking and finance, real estate, among a long list of other practices. It was at that point that I identified the importance of versatility as a young lawyer. So it was indeed a very bold step for me to change the course, to chart a new course from the Daniel Adedigba, who was either litigation or nothing, to Daniel Adedigba, who had the opportunity to now move around other aspects of the bar. So when the previous panel were saying that you should not narrow, your practice, it was something that resonated so well with me. So in direct answer to that, it will be that I had, the opportunity to move around. Now I'm into dispute resolution and litigation, but as at that early stage, I was, a versatile young lawyer. I was able to move around other practices. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel. So just please, let's clap for him, please. Just to save time, please, we just have 1 minute for the answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael, but I was counting. So until I use up the time Daniel used, I'm not going to stop, but that's on a lighter note. Bold moves. For me, I would say there are several moves that I had to make from the time that I was Has that one come back? Right, so we're back. So I was saying, okay. As a newly called lawyer, right out of law school, I was offered employment as an assistant lecturer in a university. And it was very exciting for me because I had always dreamed of being in the academics, and it was something that my parents were excited about. My mom particularly, she had told me she wanted me to be a lecturer, and it was very important that with the kind of certain academic records, practice may not be the best path for me, and academia might be where it's at. So imagine coming right out of law school, and less than even a week, I got a job offer as an assistant lecturer. And of course, I accepted it. I grabbed it with open arms. I was excited to be there, and I resumed. And upon resumption, I did that for a few weeks even, and I just realized that being a very, very new lawyer, being someone that had just been called to the bar, I had no practice experience apart from the internships that I had done, or the mute court experience, or the externship period, which to my mind was not sufficient. So I felt for myself that I was not able to impart the type of knowledge that I wanted to impart. And so even though I was in what you call a juicy position, because there are a lot of people that do want to be in academics but are not able to find the opportunity that I did. I mean, straight out of law school, I was still about to proceed to my master's, and I got that offer. But at that point, I had to make a different decision. I had to take a different path. And I realized that it might be too early for me to be in this place at this point in my life. So what is important for me at that time, or what was important for me at that time, was actually improving myself by doing some practice, teaching things like contracts or law of torts or things like that. Of course, you have the theoretic knowledge, but it's just like they tell you in law school, while you're giving out that knowledge, it's important for you to also have some background information. I knew that with some of my lecturers, they would give us practical examples. So I felt like what was best for me at that time was to live where I was, even though it was a secure job. I had a clear path to the top of that road if I chose to stay on it. But I made the decision to step out, even if it's just for a little while, to improve myself in the way that I know how. And while it was a difficult decision at the time, I think it was a bold move that I made, and I'm glad that I made that decision, and I'm happy with where I am now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ozema. Please, let's clap for her.
I think can you hear me? Okay. So for me, I think the moment I made that bold decision was the day I took a stance to say I don't just want to be at the back end, but I want to be part of those people who would use their pen, not just as a lawyer, but to be part of the national reform process. And I will walk you through my journey in less than 5 minutes. So it all began in 2020. As a lawyer, of course, I started first in normal practice, what you call the traditional legislation. And then after the practice, I decided to go through the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, which is called PLAC. They gave me my first opportunity to be able to work in the political terrain. And being posted to the House Committee on Human Rights opened my eyes to the innards and workings of what happens. Of course, being a lawyer, you're there where the policies are being made, where our legislators are. And then you're being opportune to see these things and address the problems happening in our nation. And after I went through that program, which lasted for 3 months, I took a decision to then go back to school. School doesn't mean going back to university. I went back to register as a student, one of the pioneer students of the School of Politics, Policy, and Governance. That was where it all began. Now, going back to the School of Politics, dear, of course, we met so many resource persons, of which I learned so much about politics. People will tell you politics is a dirty game. But then when I interact with my friends, I tell them, if you say politics is a dirty game, go there with your soap and your water and wash it. You know, because then we can't be at the sideline and say we want to see changes without us being the change that we want. So you can't be at the back expecting that some magician goes there and make this work, whereas you have an opportunity as a lawyer to look at the gaps and see how you can lend your voice in making sure that these policies are being implemented based on justice, equity, and fairness. And that was where it all began for me. Today, I stand to work as a senior legislative aide to the Deputy Speaker, who is, you know, a number 6 person in the nation. And what do? We look at how we can reform policies. Today, we can boast of the Constitutional Review Committee that is ongoing. As of next week, we're going into the 6 geopolitical zones. What are we clamoring for? How we can bring in reforms. Talk about the women reservation seats, bringing women into the system, looking at reforms, things that haven't been done. And for me, I can say this is a new part, of course, as a lawyer, but looking at how we can merge both politics and law together to make sure that we advance our country forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Favor. Please, let's clap for her. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I want to be sure that we're together, so it's not just that we're speaking from this place. So for me, my bold move had different layers, and I'll speak about one, and I'll advise you to adopt it. Now, I think over 5,000 of you were called to the bar. One thing you want to do is get extra certifications. Now, what extra certifications does is that it beefs up your profile. So as an employer, I get a lot of CVs, right? And I'm seeing just LLB, BL. I'm like, okay, what next, right? So you need to take that bold move, spend that extra 150, 200K and get more certifications. Now, what that does is 2 things. Number one, it broadens your knowledge base. Secondly, it places you a step further than your contemporaries. Now, it also puts you in that space. So imagine you are a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators UK, and they say all members should come for a meeting somewhere. It means that you have a right to be there. Chartered Institute of Mediators have a meeting, you have a right to be there. Chartered Institute of Taxation has to have a meeting, you have a right to be there. So you want to be in that space where there are people who can hold your hand and take you to the next level. So my encouragement, or what my advice to you is to take that bold step. Take an extra certification. You can take 2, you can take 3, you can take 4, but don't stop at BL. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for him. Thank you very much. So if you listen carefully, all of them made mention of how they have taken bold steps. So if you are going to move ahead, you must have to take bold steps that will put you in the right position. While the other panelists were speaking, one of the panelists joined us. So ladies and gentlemen, permit me to introduce in our midst, Mr. Deji Adeyanju, the co-founder, Deji Adeyanju and Partners. You are welcome, sir. Thank you very much. So we'll move straight to the second question. But before we move straight to the second question, we'd like to get the final view of Mr. Adeyanju on the bold moves he has made in the profession that has changed his trajectory or his position in the profession. So the question is, what bold decision or move defined the early part of your legal career?
Oh, okay. Please, sir. First, let me sincerely apologize for coming late. A client was in detention. And you know, I have a duty to my clients, duty to be diligent, and duty to be a competent counsel to him. So I had to do all within my powers to be there for my clients. So in answering this question, he said in early practice. Me, I just got here. I'm still a JJC, I just arrived. I just got here, so I don't know. The question is directed to old people. But me, I'm still a very new person in practice. Although one of my mentors in the profession, senior advocate of Nigeria, a life bencher, I will not mention his name, he says I'm only deceiving people, that I'm claiming to be a young lawyer, but I'm only deceiving people. That because I've been here for a while doing activism, but I'm a young lawyer, and I would say the bold moves is that I was determined to make sure that in every case I'm handling, that I leave an impression not just for my client, but for the client on the other side. Because, the counsel on the other side. Because you see, in this practice, we are permitted to do advertisements. But you know, the advertisements have been restricted. There are certain advertisements that the law says you cannot do. So, and because today we are fighting today does not mean tomorrow we cannot be on the same side and do cases together. So what I think has been working for me is that I have treated every counsel as if we are friends. Because it is the clients that are fighting. We, the lawyers, we are not fighting with each other. So I think that has really helped me. And I think as young lawyers, if you use this strategy and approach, that it will work for you, because there will always be cases, other cases, that you need other lawyers to either invite you to join or to help you resolve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deji. Please, let's clap for him. So we are moving to the second question, and this question is directed to Mr. Daniel and Ms. Favor. So the question is, we understand the legal profession is moving towards a dimension different from the traditional legal practice. So in your view, what are some unwritten rules of the legal profession that young lawyers today are questioning or breaking? So let me take that again. In your view, what are some unwritten rules of the legal profession that young lawyers today are questioning or breaking?
All right. Thank you, Michael. There are quite a number of unwritten rules that young lawyers today are breaking. And sincerely, it is a perfect time to give kudos to the senior lawyers who are helping young lawyers to break these myths. One of it is that there's a presumption that once you are not a litigation lawyer, then you are not practicing. You will often hear people approach you and say, oh, are you practicing? And I beg to ask, what practicing indeed means. At the point when you are enrolled and called to the Nigerian bar, you become a practicing lawyer. So now At this age and time, young lawyers are now redefining what practice indeed means. There are lawyers that are excellent, but have never stepped in the courtroom. That does not mean they are not practicing lawyers. So happy to see that truckload of lawyers are now taking on other feet outside the courtroom. There are some of us that are really, really interested in the activities in the courtroom. I know my very good brother and friend, Mr. Adeyanju here, also does core dispute practice. I know his office also does other things, but nowadays we now see people, extend and see that practice indeed does not mean you are a litigator. That's on the one hand. Another thing that young lawyers are breaking, which some senior lawyers are not very happy with, is the fact that traditionally, there's a presumption that as a young lawyer, you must suffer. It is a very rebuttable presumption that as a young lawyer, you are bound to suffer. And when you probe further as to what generates this kind of mentality, it's usually born from the fact that the senior lawyers will tell you that they suffer their way to being who they are. And so this suffering must now pass from generation to generation. Unfortunately, young lawyers now know that you must not suffer. And I want to appreciate Leonard Sik, Mr. Atoye BSAN, because when he was speaking, he says that you should go for knowledge. And the distinction is the fact that you have the capacity to go for knowledge and to go for money. I don't know if you understand. You have the capacity to go for knowledge and to go for money, because we now have to redefine that mentality, that predominant tradition that lawyers at their early age must suffer. No. What is actually generating it is the fact that the ideology that young lawyers should sit up tight, should learn the ropes and, become excellent at the young age of their practice. No doubt about that. But the question is whether you cannot concurrently be a young lawyer and make money. A lot of senior lawyers who spoke here says, dress well, wear nice suits. You buy it with money. So it is important that you actually have that mentality. There's one position that the MBA section on business law has told us repeatedly, and that's the fact that the practice of law is a business. And don't be deceived. Everybody who excel in the practice, Leonard Silk is here, Mrs. Badejo Okusanya is here. They know that the practice is a business. Mrs. B, you do business development. I know for a fact. Leonard Silk, you do the business development. I see your article every day. So they understand that indeed the practice is a business. And that's one of the things that can actually inspire you. Something must inspire you. Why should I wake up in the middle of the night to read law reports? Something is inspiring me. So the point is that young lawyers are now saying that indeed, it is not bad for money to be my inspiration. I'm not saying it is my inspiration, and I'm not saying it is not. But importantly, young lawyers are changing this narrative. You can go for the knowledge and, of course, still be inspired by the fact that the profession is a business.
Thank you very much. You can go for knowledge, you can go for money. Thank you very much. So, Ms. Favor, thank you.
Okay, I'll say this. One of the mistakes that lawyers who are trying to dive into a new path make is to think that it all ends with the whole call to bar ceremony. As a matter of fact, let me be the still voice to tell you today that there is more work to be done. You see, after the whole celebration that happened yesterday, a lot of people out there are looking up to you right now. Let's begin from your family. If they haven't started calling you as the barrister and solicitor to begin to take up matters even from your immediate nuclear family or extended family, please get ready for it, because there's so much expectation right now. It is a noble profession, and you should be able to wear this wig very well. Another thing I want you not to neglect is the legal excellence that comes with it. whether you're delving into tech, you're going into politics, you're going into oil and gas, whatever it is, lawyers were known to be distant. So if you're going there and you don't have that legal excellence, that's expertise that can make someone say, oh, I can truly vouch for this person to do a good job, then you haven't begun. And how do you do this? Just like one of my colleagues said, you need to, in fact, people say that lawyers, it doesn't end here. I read even the minutes of things. When I came in here and a lady gave me a program, the first thing I did was to open it, and it was the pamphlets from Mrs. B. And I opened it. The first thing she said was, mind the gap. The second one she said was, master your tools. I read all through everything, and I said, wow, it's as though she came here, going through what I had in mind. And it is the truth, because if you're told me, I know, yes, sometime growing up, even from school, I had taken up political positions, from being the course rep to having some leadership roles. But if you told me that I would wake up today to be in a position that I am, I'll tell you it's a lie. But then I knew one thing I did was to be very strategic. I knew it was time for me to change the trajectory and get into there, because you go into the house and you have less women in politics. And I don't just want to be at the back line to keep complaining by saying things are not being done. So it took a whole lot. Going back to school of politics, staying there for 1 year, doing a master's program in legislative drafting, and doing a whole lot to make sure that I perfect my skills. It's one thing to say you're a lawyer, but it's another thing for people to be able to blow your trumpet. So I don't know what field you're planning to go into, be it tech, be it, politics, be it whatever. Make sure that you are the best in what you are doing. Let people vouch for you. Another thing I want to leave you with is integrity. I tell you today that, like, the way I got my job, someone was in a room where a conversation was being held. And they said, oh, we need someone who will be able to take up this position. I wasn't there. But people said, oh, I know of someone who has done this. And the conversation ensued. And when I came into the room, a lot has been said, but they needed to put a face to it. And when I came in, all I needed to do was to speak. Of course, I won't take away the God factor. And then when I said, gave a trajectory of what I had done, mind you, of course, I've not been too long in practice, but I was called to bar in 2017. And it's one thing to walk around the room and people see you and feel like, oh, are you still in secondary school? Are you still in, university? Because I have a very young face, which I wear so well and I enjoy. But the thing is, what will distinguish you anywhere you go to is your substance. So today, be that lawyer that will carve a niche to say, I'm going to be good at this, no matter what you decide to do. Carve your niche and wear it so well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Favor. What will distinguish you is your substance. Thank you very much. So we'll go to the second to the last question, and this question is addressed to Ozioma, Babayemi, and Mr. Deyanju. So the question is, how do you see legal practice evolving in the next 5 to 10 years? And what kind of leadership and skill is needed for this emerging legal market?
Thank you, Michael. How do I see legal practice evolving? There are so many things that we're seeing now that I'm sure the older lawyers did not see when they started practice. So we already know that there are a lot of changes. We are operating in a more digital world, in a more digital practice. I was talking to one of our new associates today, and before I came to this program, and we were having a conversation about the NWLR, and I was trying to find something, and the network was not, it wasn't loading as fast. And I said to the person to quickly go to the library and help me get a copy of, what's the big one? Yes, the one that has the index. And he was saying how he hadn't seen a physical copy of the NWLR since maybe 300 level. And it just occurred to me that this is actually a new world. You have your NWLR at the tip of your finger, you have PRIMSO, you have several other, your commercial law reports. And that's already such a difference from even when we were in 100 level or 200 level or whatnot, where we had to research for mock trials using physical or hard copy law reports. So things are already changing. We're operating in a more digital space. You have more things online. There are people that don't have physical law firms. They run a digital practice. So they give you, I see a lot of people on Twitter Facebook, on LinkedIn. They don't have a physical office, but they are practicing law. They have the names of their law firms. They are doing your CAC registrations. They are doing a whole lot of, they're offering a lot of legal services without a physical space. So we're moving away from so much of the physical. Another thing that's changing is that we're moving away from, you know how when you were younger and you hear lawyers speak, there's a lot of legalese, there's a lot of grammar. You don't have to understand everything that they say. So it differentiates the lawyers from the laymen. So it's something you can say in one sentence. You say it in 5 sentences that people are like, a lawyer, you know. You are speaking like a lawyer. We are phasing away from that culture. People are beginning to speak in simpler terms, beginning to write in simpler terms. You're beginning to communicate because you understand that being a lawyer, offering a service means that the people that you're speaking to, they need to be able to understand, they need to be able to know what you're saying, they need to be able to be carried along. And so we're gradually moving. So these are some of the examples of the ways that we have started to shift from what used to be the culture or what used to be the norm. What skills do you need? Of course, you have to be tech savvy. That you studied law does not mean that you don't have to know how to operate a computer. You need to be tech savvy. And it goes back to what everyone has said about improving your skills. Now, nobody's saying that you should go and learn how to do Python or Java or all of those things. But as a lawyer, knowing that now we're no more in the age where you write out your legal argument and take it to the cyber cafe for somebody to type it out and print it for you. Those are things that you can do from the comfort of your office. You need to be able to type well. You need to be able to centralize your documents. You need to be able to, you know, write well with your computer. You need to be able to communicate with your digital tools, your phone, your laptop. So you need to improve your tech skills. Apart from your tech skills, your soft skills are also so important. Since the time we've been here, you've seen the number of dignitaries and the number of senior advocates of Nigeria that have come here to give goodwill messages. You're in a room with them. You need to be able to communicate with them. You need to learn how to network. You need to learn how to have those conversations with those people that have the ability to impact on your career positively. So negotiation skills, your speaking skills, communication, and all of that. These are skills that you need to be able to build to excel and to excel faster than the rest of your colleagues, because having 5,000 plus people called to the bar, it means that you need to be able to do something differently. You need to be able to know something far and above what everyone else knows to be able to excel. You need to not only know things, but the truth of the matter is that you need to know people as well. So while you're in this room, you need to be able to, some people say they have stage fright or they are shy or they are introverts, granted. But you've come to a profession where you cannot do without mentorship. You cannot do without friends. You cannot do without sponsors, like Chief Obegolu mentioned earlier. So you need to be able to come out of your shell and speak to people. And with these skills and with a knowledge of where the law profession is going in the next few years, you'll be able to find your feet and excel in the profession.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Uzoma. Let's clap for her. All right.
Okay, so for me, I would say yes. Look at tech a lot, right? You need to look at tech a lot. I remember when I was called back then in 2015, when I started going to CAC a lot, we had a lot of manual processes. You go and fill a form, submit it, they will approve it, you go and collect it, and all that. That's changed now. The system is now digitalized. So it means that we're getting to a system where everything is going to get digitalized. So now, are you at the top of your game? Now, one area that I would tell you you need to quickly invest in is data protection. Data protection is a very expansive area that a lot of people have not yet locked into, and it's the opportunity to crave your own niche as a young lawyer. So, and how do you do that is by, you also start pushing out articles on data protection. So once we go to Nigerian Lawyer or anywhere, I know a lot of you that will join groups and you see that almost on every topic in law, Leonard Silk, Mr. Atoyebu SCN has written an article on it. So you want to be that person that everybody says on data protection, it is your name. On AI, it is your name. On blockchain, it is your name. So you want to be that person that has moved away from the norm to the next level. Another area I want to look at is medical law. Medical and health law is a very, very interesting area of law that a lot of lawyers are not involved in yet. So that's another area of law you might want to put your attention in and shift away from tech if you are not a very techie person. Now, A third area you want to look at is policy formation, policy drafting, policy formation. It's a very interesting area that can take you to the international space very, very, very fast. So that's an area you want to look in. Now, for skills, people's skills for a lawyer is the best skill that you can ever have. Now, you might not have the entire knowledge, but do you have people that have the knowledge base? Now, most of my best jobs, I got them from people that I've known, say 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, right? So you cannot look over people. So the person seated beside you or your law school mates at the time can be the person that will call you and say, Ozioma or Chinwe, Alpha, I have this gig. Are you interested in? But again, you must have also sown in that relationship. So, and I want to encourage you, before you meet people and say, okay, sir, I want to be your mentor, what are you giving in return? So you can't just come and say, sir, I want to be your mentor. What are you giving to your mentor? What value are you bringing? Don't say, because I'm a new wig, I don't know. There is something that you can bring to the table. So people's skills, right, and the ability for you to be able to also provide value will set you up in your profession going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Baba Yemi. Please, let's clap for him.
Yeah, so for me, I'll use myself as an example, because when I came in, of course, I already know so many people in the country, so many. So clients will not be a problem, naturally. But I didn't know the law. So what did I do? I found a lawyer that was 18 years post-call, and I said, please come and be my partner. And we formed a partnership because I know so many people in the country. And in my partner, I have a teacher, a mentor, a friend. So we are running, in less than 2 years, I can assure you we have about 18 lawyers in our firm. And I can assure you that, believe me, we don't pay peanuts in our firm. And again, it's very important for you to, the place of ICT, we have a department in our firm for ICT. And we do not joke with it because the world has moved on from all this analog technology. The truth of the matter is that the profession forbids you from advertisement, right? However, there are other ways that you can actually advertise. Other ways of advertising. You can talk about the things you are doing. You can do advocacy and report it. Do you understand? Because by doing that, you have not breached the issues of size of practice, comparison, and all that. Do you understand? So I think that is what is going to change in the next 5 years plus, because this new generation of AI-inclined lawyers, they are going to find ways to outsmart the RPC. Because the truth of the matter is that you look at the volume of lawyers that have just been called this week alone. Those guys are not coming for you to come and tell them to wait for their turn. They are coming to make money. And I always tell people that Christianity is free, but you need to buy a Bible. You need money, oh. You need money in this profession, oh. You need money to stock up the library. And you cannot go and be borrowing books. You must have every book in your library, every book. In my office, we have 3 libraries: inner library, outer library, and main library. So the books alone are in hundreds of millions. So where will you get it? You can't go and rob to get the money now. You must devise a way to make the money. You must devise a way to make the money. So there is always something missing in the society. And you must identify that thing that is missing, that vacuum. And as the next generation of lawyers, you must fill that vacuum. If you don't fill the vacuum of what is missing, you are going to be one of those people who have wealth without enterprise. Because there will be no difference between you and a Yahoo boy. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I bought a Rolls Royce, yes. How did you buy the Rolls Royce? How did you buy the Rolls Royce? You must be able to explain how you got 1 million, how the 1 million became 10 million, how the 10 million became, how the 100 million became 1 billion, how the 1 billion became 10 billion. If you are not, believe me, if they wake me up from sleep, I can explain every money that I've ever made. If they wake me up from sleep. The next thing that must change is that the next generation of lawyers, they must find a way. You see, the provision of RPC that says clients cannot come to the house. You cannot go to client's house. They must come to the office. The next generation of lawyers must find a way through ICT to outsmart that rule. Because in practice, these people are not willing to come to the office. They are not willing. Listen, I always tell everybody, even since before I joined law practice, I've been doing businesses for years. Any business, any investment that's going to stress you, there's no money inside. Like the kind of bricklayer stress, there's no money inside. Real money making is brain work, is paperwork, is artificial intelligence work. Any work that will involve you carrying block on your head and jumping up and down, there's no money inside. So as the next generation of lawyers, you must devise a means to become billionaires online. Because after all, the rule says you cannot go to their house. The rule does not say you cannot create a WhatsApp channel to communicate with them. The rule does not say you cannot create a software to communicate with them. So you must devise an app, because look at Uber. Uber is an app. Uber, they are not selling anything, but they are making billions in dollars. What stops us, this next generation of lawyers, from having an app? If you need a lawyer, you just book it. What stops us? We must look beyond the invisibles. Yes, the old people stuck in the past will not want to be forward-looking, but even Lord Denning, the rival Lord Denning said it, that we must always be forward-looking. The only way we can make progress in this profession is if we do not allow civilization to overtake us. That as civilization is moving, we are also moving with it. So we must, while we are making this progress of catching up with civilization, the next generation of lawyers must make money with civilization. You must use artificial intelligence you must turn it into wealth creation. By doing so, not only will you solve problems, you will also solve the financial problems that your practice may be facing daily. And the financial problems are endless. Like I humorously say all the time, no matter how good you plan in Nigeria, the government plans better than you. Because the government will find a way to frustrate your business. They'll find a way to frustrate your practice. But if you are forward-looking and you begin to strategize to say, oh, as I'm planning this law practice, how can I be off-grid? How can I be off-grid? How can I use solar? How can I use wind? So you see, you are thinking beyond the lawyer. Because law practice is business, you are not thinking like a businessman. Because at the end of the day, the month, your wage bill is not going to pity you because you are a lawyer. Your wage bill is going to reflect what the society has imposed upon your practice as a lawyer. So finally, I also feel that the next generation of lawyers must be people who look more at service that cannot be seen, unseen service, and also look at the people who are on the end side receiving the service. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deyanju. Please, let's clap for him. Thank you very much. So we shall be drawing the curtain for this panel session, but just before the panelists leave the stage, we would like to get the closing statements from all of you. So in 10 seconds, what are you telling these new wigs? What is your closing? What are you leaving them with? Please, we'll start with you, Baba Yemi. 10 seconds.
Okay, wait. Okay, thank you very much for listening to us so far. So two things. Number one, remember everything that we have said today. Number two is collect your money. Any service you have rendered to anybody, collect your what? Collect your what? Thank you very much.
I'll just continue from where he stopped. My advice to you will be start. I don't know what you have in mind. I don't know what area of aspect of law you're looking to delve into. Just start. You make mistakes. I started first as an attorney. I started first to litigation. I made my mistakes. I learned the ropes. I was a lawyer in a lot of law firms before I delved into politics. Start. You'll find your path. I'm telling you, you would find your path. Start. Mentorship is very important. You can't just fly to the top. If you do that, you come down. Start. Let people mentor you. Let people train you. And then you would someday get on top where you can mentor others. And lastly, what I'll tell you is your most powerful tool is your pen. Don't just use your pen anyhow. You are now lawyers. You are accountable. So use your pen wisely and carve your own path. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Two things I want to leave you with. The first one is, to whom much is given, much is expected. For a lot of you, you've gotten job offers or you started something. Your employers have taken the chance by taking you. You are fresh out of the bar. It's not as if you have a lot to offer them at this point, right? They are going to offer you money. They are going to offer you mentorship. They've given you something and they expect something from you in return. So you need to be able to justify the faith that they put in you by hiring you. That's the first thing. The second thing is, no matter what it looks like, there's a reward for hard work. Keep grinding where you are, even if it looks like nobody's seeing you, you're not seeing the results of your hard work. Keep working hard and you certainly get rewarded for your hard work.
Thank you very much, Uzoma.
All right. In law practice, as it is in life, you do not always get what you deserve. Rather, you get what you demand and what you negotiate. That's on the one hand. Before I leave, I want to make a practical impact. I'm the co-chairman of the Nigerian Young Lawyers Forum Abuja branch, and we've created free trainings for 50 young lawyers, free trainings. This training will be handled by highly distinguished senior lawyers, largely Senior Advocate of Nigeria and partners in top law firms in Nigeria. So we've created already, the first session will be July 15th, but we need registration. So I know this is a national thing, but for those that will remain in Abuja, please, you can meet me after this session. You can meet the man standing, wearing white behind. His name is Mr. Adeyanju Jamiu, to register with him, or you can meet me. We are happy to train about 50 young lawyers at no cost. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Mr. Adeyanju, 10 minutes, 10 seconds, sorry.
Yes, for me, I would say, never charge the poor or the indigent. If you charge them, they will go to the village square and announce that they've paid you big money and the money is not big. So there's no need charging the indigent. Just do it for them as service to humanity. When you help the poor, you have helped God. And believe me, let this service be about truly caring for people. If you truly care for people, you are not just faking it. You care for people, God will always take care of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that will be all for this panel session. But just before we go,
just one last thing. So I'm dedicating 10 law reports to the chairman. Please give it to 10 new weeks as my contribution for the new weeks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, also, please, I would like to pay for accommodation of 5 people here at the conference in Enugu. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I will conclude by
please meet the the 5 people, Etaba will pick the 5 people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll conclude by saying thank you to our panelists. Heraclitus will say that gratitude is the least of all virtues, but when omitted becomes the greatest of all vices. So we are deeply grateful for your time, for all the effort you made in staying to this moment. And to everyone that listened to us, we are very grateful. And I will leave you with the words of the keynote speaker. He said something. He said, much has been said, but we want more to be done than has been said. So leave this hall with not just the words you have listened, but with the intention, with the drive to be able to implement them. And that is the only way you'll be a better young lawyer. Thank you very much. Mr. Joseph. So leave this hall.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please can we give them another resounding round of applause? Yes, I believe that was a beautiful panel session, right? Right? You all enjoyed yourselves, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, great. So I just want to let you all know that right after they are done, we are going to be having the induction proper. So I want you to start calling your friends that are not here, because all our materials for induction is available. So immediately they are out of here, they step down from the stage, the podium rather, we're going to take the induction proper. So very quickly, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of some of our guests, and immediately we'll invite Mrs. B. Permit me, ma, I wouldn't be calling your full name, but then I am very okay with the Mrs. B if you are okay with me calling you Mrs. B. You will be coming over to present awards to our panelists. Please, ladies and gentlemen, can we give the delectable, ever gorgeous, wonderful, ever shining Mrs. B a resounding round of applause even as she comes up for the presentation of awards. But briefly before she does that, ma'am, please, you can just kindly have your seats as I just get to acknowledge the presence of some few persons. So very quickly, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the former YLF chairman. He's here with us, of the Governing Council, in person of A.T. Aboki. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give him a resounding round of applause? He's here alongside Salvador Jibola, former Secretary General. Can we give him a resounding round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Also, we have some of our seniors. I think one of our panelists is being accompanied with by his wonderful wife, Treasure Adedigba Esquire. She's here. Please, ma'am, can you wave? Yes, yes. My friend, I think it's high time I got married. By the grace of God, I'll be a man like you too. So very quickly, I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of our very good friend as well, a very wonderful lawyer. We have him amidst us in person of Balogun Esquire. Sir, please, can you just wave? Ladies and gentlemen, can we give Balogun a resounding round of applause? So very quickly, I'm going to invite Mrs. B. She's going to come up. So I'm going to call the first award we have here, which is going to Daniel Adedigba. Daniel Adedigba. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give him a resounding round of applause?
Daniel, thank you very much for your contributions, and thank you very much for the training offer. UUBO is one of the leading firms in Nigeria. So anybody that has the opportunity to partake in that training, please stand out. So maybe they'll retain you in UUBO. Congratulations. Congratulations.
All right, for the next award presentation, it goes to Ozioma Soludo. Adedigba, please, you can kindly wait because we're going to have a snapshot with your panel session. Thank you.
Ozioma, thank you very much. Ozioma is with Kenna Partners in Abuja here. Okay. That's another leading law firm, but you are not offering us 50, maybe 10, 20. Okay. They're going to think about it. Kenna Partners, look for their address. Follow her on LinkedIn. Say she has said they would deliberate about it. So we're holding her to that. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you very much.
For the next award, we'll invite Favor Ngozi Egu. Favor Ngozi, one of the youngest astute politicians we have at the National Assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give her a resounding round of applause? She's the senior legislative aide to the Deputy Speaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Yes, no, don't go yet, Favor. I was listening very closely to what Favor said, and I hope we all were too, because she said something that really struck me. When her name was mentioned, when she was being considered for this role, she wasn't even in the room. She wasn't even in the room, which means that she had done many things prior to put her in a situation whereby, even though she wasn't there, somebody said, that is the person for the job. My prayer for all of you here today is that that will be you one day. You know why? Because all of you here, you could be anywhere, but you have chosen to be here, listening to these sessions, learning from other people. That shows an intentionality on your part, which is very commendable. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And my prayer for you is that you will all find your paths just like this, into corridors that you never even imagined. Amen. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Let me have a handshake with you.
Next on our list, we have one of the foremost human rights activists in the country, in person of Deji Adeyanju. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give him a resounding round of applause?
See, when they said I would come up and give the awards, this was the one that excited me most. Please take the picture. This man is a household name, and I'm very, very, very happy to be taking. You see, you can tell that the man's brain is just, I was looking at him when he was sitting up there. He's very restless. You know, you can just tell that. So when he said, look, any work that you are going to carry pong on your head, the one that is not paper, so you can tell that as he's sitting down here, maybe he's looking at all of us and he's seeing money. May we all have that anointing. People like me, I don't know how to, if you give me the work, I'll do it. But to see something and know that this thing will become money, I don't have that anointing. Please, I need to tap into that anointing. Thank you for all you do. His hands are very soft too. Hi. Invitations. And thank you for sharing your stories with such candor. We learn it every time.
Thank you very much, DG. The last award presentation goes to Baba Yemi Olanion, Esquire, Principal Partner, Lehi Attorneys. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a resounding round of applause.
Okay, so Mr. Olua Busayo, I'm sorry. What? Okay, Mr. Olanion, I apologize. So I've just let that cat out of the bag. Sorry about that. But thank you so much. We're grateful for your coming. We're grateful for the insights that you shared. Please come again. We have a lot to learn from you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we celebrate Mrs. B? Thank you very much, ma'am. Please, you would kindly wait so that we'll take a snapshot. Yes, thank you very much. And we'll invite the YLF chairman alongside members of the governing council to come up for a picture together with the panelists. And immediately they're done, Pocket's lawyer and apt response should please get ready immediately after this picture.
Yes, I said I should announce. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please a few announcements before we move into the next segment of today's program. I know we are exhausted and we want to go and rest before we come for the whining and dining later this evening. But please pay attention to this announcement. New Wigs who are Igbo lawyers should meet the PRO of Otu Okaiwu, Abuja. New Wigs who are Igbo lawyers should meet the PRO of Otu Okaiwu, Abuja for proper documentation or call, I'm going to call out the number now, 080-681-84162. Barrister Ochili, he's the PRO. 080-681-84162. Kindly meet this PRO if you are an Igbo lawyer. I was so tempted to shout Igbo Queen right now, but I'm sure you understand the information that is being passed across. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Joseph.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite Etaba Agbo from the Young Lawyers Forum. He is the secretary. Can we give him a resounding round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes up? Immediately Etaba is done, we'll then invite Pocket's lawyer and apt response for
Good afternoon, everyone. Please, may I stand on the already established protocol? So this afternoon, I'm meant to share a few insights on what the YLF stands for. So for a start, it is important to note that the Young Lawyers Forum of the Nigerian Bar Association is a forum for young lawyers who are 0 to 7 years post-call. So because you were just called to the Nigerian Bar, you're automatic members of the forum. Now, what the forum stands for is simply the fact that the forum is responsible for advocating for your welfare and creating opportunities where you can develop yourselves as new wigs who have just ventured into the profession. So the current leadership of the forum is led by Mr. Timothy Clement, alongside other members of the governing council. And over time, since our inauguration, we've been doing our best to see how we can deliver on the mandate we've been given. First, we must recognize the fact that our activities over time have been trying to consolidate on the efforts of those who came before us. And that explains why, for most of the things we do, we take bearing from the foundation that was laid by those who have come before us. And so over time, we've had a series of programs like the Justice Project, which of course we had on the 14th of February this year. And that project, we visited detention facilities across the country to see how we can contribute our quota to societal development. This project was run across the different branches of the NBA. We had young lawyers in Lagos visiting correctional facilities in their places. We had young lawyers in places like Ondo and different branches across the country visiting correctional facilities to see how they can contribute to that project. Now, the most important thing about the YLF is the fact that we rely on the strength of the branches for us to succeed. And so when I talk about branches, I mean at the level of the branches that we have, there are also YLF branches there. So if, for example, you belong to Lagos branch has a YLF Lagos branch, depending on wherever you decide to practice and whatever branch you decide to identify with. So what we are saying in essence is simply the fact that as much as you're going to show concern and of course show your support for most of our programs, we are encouraging you to also belong to a branch so that at the level of your branch, you can also participate in YLF activities. One of the most striking things I must share with us this afternoon, especially for us the new weeks here, is the fact that there is currently an advocacy for young lawyers to continue to develop themselves through the continuing development program, which of course has been championed by the NBA president. And so that program, under this MCPD rules 2025, we are expected to earn 5 credit hours for us to have our practice license by next year. And so we have trainings that have been curated to ensure that you can earn those 5 credit hours. And so it's not like it's rocket science. It does not mean that the 5 credit hours, you have to go and do magic or you pay millions to get them. There are trainings that have been curated that are free. And I'm proud to announce to you that recently, the Young Lawyers Forum, through the Emerging Practice Areas Committee, organized a training on data protection where over 2,000 young lawyers registered for that training and they earned a CPD point. It's also interesting to note that even this gathering today, the induction today, there's 1 CPD point that you can earn for being here today. So the more you attend all of these trainings and programs, and even your branch law week, for example, is the more you're able to earn those points. So the 5 credit points are not points that you cannot earn as young lawyers. And so we are encouraging you to always take advantage of these programs and also to announce to us that by Monday, we are going to be launching the YLF e-learning platform. The platform has been designed in such a way that you can go online, take the free courses that will be curated by the Young Lawyers Forum at your convenience, and we'll ensure that those courses are accredited so that you can earn your free CPD points. So all of this is geared towards ensuring that as young lawyers, you do not join the bandwagon cry to say that the courses are expensive. We believe that as a forum, we owe you a responsibility to ensure that we give you courses that can help you develop yourself and stay relevant. So we welcome you to the profession and urge you most humbly that as you go back and belong to a branch, wherever you see our programs as a forum, you should please take advantage because the forum does not exist without each and every one of you. So for the barcodes that have been shared, please also ensure that you scan those barcodes, because when you scan the barcode, you're able to earn your 1 CPD point for being at this induction today. Please do not say that you were called to buy yesterday, and so you will not earn a CPD point. This is your advantage, and you're lucky enough to be in a program that is coming a day after your call to buy, and you're already earning CPD points. That already tells you that as the days go by, the 5 CPD points will not be a problem for you to earn them. Thank you very much, and we look forward to having each and every one of you participate in our activities. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please can we give another resounding round of applause to Etaba Agbo, the Secretary, YLF of the Nigerian Bar Association. Well done, Etaba. Ladies and gentlemen, very quickly, I'll invite Pocket's lawyer, the gold sponsors of this wonderful event. And of course, it's very important that we invite them. Can we give them a resounding round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We have the gold, the silver, and the bronze, but Pocket's lawyer picked up the gold sponsorship of this particular event. And it's very important that we invite a representative from this wonderful company to come over. Wow, ma'am, you look so wonderful. You're welcome. So please, can I invite the YLF chairman, Wild Pocket lawyer? That's what I'm saying. While Pocket lawyer is actually making 1 or 2 statements, I'll invite the chairman of the YLF. You can get ready so you present an award to her. So please, you can just come over so that immediately she's done, we could do that snappy. So immediately she's done, we would want apt response to also get ready, and we do same. Thank you very much.
Greetings, everyone. I hereby stand on non-existing protocols. My name is Ngozi Nwabweze, and I'm fondly known as the mother-in-law. I was in your position 16 years ago. Yes, believe it or not, I was in your position 16 years ago. I currently run a firm called Pocket Lawyers LP, and I'm also the CEO founder Pocket Lawyers. Thank you. And also, first and foremost, congratulations to everybody here who has been called to the bar in the last 3 days. I'm sure you're all excited and exhilarated, and we are relieved after all those years of practice, all those years of training, and everything. And I'm sure that one of the questions you're asking yourself now is, what next? What next? What next? I'm so glad to be coming after a panel that spoke here about a lot about technology. Right? I would like to first and foremost introduce you to Pocket Lawyers. What we have built is a system that would help you start and grow your private practice from day one. I'm sure you're wondering, why I decided to go on this journey. It took me 10 years post-call to be able to have the courage to strike off on my own and set up my law firm. That shouldn't be the case with you, which is why we have built this platform to enable you start off right from day one. And you may be wondering what this platform can do for you. First and foremost, this platform can ensure that, one, you are able to select an area of practice or a couple of areas of practice. You're also able to state, the services you want to be able to offer, and then also attach a minimum pricing. You're also able to chat with your clients. Basically, view it as your virtual law office. The best part of it is you are able to generate a unique link that is unique to you. So think of it as a mini website that you can use to not just, connect, but also give you digital footprint, which is very important in today's day and in today's age. I call on you. Please, can you put up the barcode to sign up onto the platform? And I can assure you that this is the most minimal portion of this platform. There is a lot more that is coming. This platform is literally going to be a game changer, not just for the young lawyers, but also for even more experienced lawyers. And I would also tell you one of the reasons why I built this. Between 2017 and 2020, I had my 3 kids in quick succession. And all during that time, I couldn't earn an income because I was at home. And after that, I just told myself, I said, there has to be a better way. A lot of the young ladies here who have been called to the bar, will most likely get to the point where, they're in childbearing years. The question is, are you going to sacrifice your career or your practice on the altar of, family? I don't think we should have to choose. I think you should be able to have both, right? Which is why I took it as a personal responsibility to build this platform to ensure that even as women, and not just women, as lawyers, you have the right and the freedom to be able to determine your practice. Even while we are here in pupillage, in any firm or anywhere, go ahead and use this to start build your practice until the point where you're confident to fully strike off on your own. This literally, I dare say, is the future of how legal services will be offered and also accessed. So please feel free to scan this barcode to sign up onto the platform. I'm going to have it there for a little bit so that, as many people can scan it and also sign up. And I'll have the rest of my team also going through, the audience to also ensure that you guys were taking your details and your contacts. There would also be another code that is going to go up. That is also for our community for young lawyers, the new Wigs. We want you to join this community so that there can be interaction with us. We can also guide you through the usage of this platform and how, you would continue to use this to, grow your practice and better your practice. And of course, when we have new features added, you would also be the first to get on there. Best part of all of these things is it's free. It's free. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and it's been an absolute pleasure. And I really want to thank the NBA-YLF for everything they are doing to further the cause of the young lawyers. It's such a service to humanity, and I'm honored, and my company is honored and privileged to be able to partner with such a stellar organization to do this. Thank you so much. And of course, see everybody in there. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, we have an award for Pocket Lawyer. So please, can you bring up the award so that the YLF chairman can present this award of honor, of excellence, of pedigree, and of course, a reputable standing in our society today, Pocket Lawyer. So ladies and gentlemen, an award is to be presented to Pocket Lawyer. Ma'am, please, can you just come over to this side? Thank you very much. Can just come close and get standing.
Thank you so much, Pocket Lawyers. On behalf of the NBA-YLF, we say a big thank you to what you've been doing for the NBA-YLF. This is just a little token of our appreciation to what you've been doing. I think her name is Mrs. Ngozi Nwabezi. She's the founder of Pocket Lawyer, and over time, when we talk, and then when we have conversations, I know that these are a set of, legal practitioners that always have the young lawyers at heart. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ngozi. Thank you. I present this plaque to you, the Young Lawyers Forum, in appreciation of your support towards the maiden edition of the NBA-YLF New Weeks induction. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, YLF Chairman. We appreciate you, Pocket Lawyer. Thank you, more grace. All right, very quickly, I'll invite apt response. We have a representative here. We'll also give you a minute to just come over and say what you would want to say. Immediately he's done, we will want Chinelo Audrey, one of the senior lawyers we have amidst us, to get ready for a goodwill message. And afterwards, ST Abuki will follow suit. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Chigozie Ibokwe, representing Apt Response. Apt Response is a platform essentially that connects users and lawyers. So users in need of urgent legal issues can quickly connect with young lawyers like you guys. So think of Apt Response like your partner, especially when you are young and when you are beginning your career. Apt Response connects you to those within your vicinity that quickly needs legal representation. It's fast and it is affordable. So you as a lawyer, you are not paying a dime. What you are just doing is getting this access to these users and being able to negotiate your price and of course, get that income coming in while you are still growing your career. The users on the other end will be able to get lawyers quickly that is close to their vicinity. And in case of emergency, they will be able to provide, you'll be able to provide those needs quickly and safely. Apt Response essentially partners with YLF and of course, young lawyers like you, because we believe in providing access to justice. We believe that income as well is important and critical, just like one of our partners here mentioned. Income is critical for you guys, especially for you to keep the fire burning. Apt Response is your partner and we will make you achieve that essentially. Thank you very much.
So we have an award presentation to Apt Response. I'll invite Etaba Agbo.